Chapter 1778. The Six Unity Forbidden Land. Are you hungry? Qin Nan was astounded. Are you kidding me? He did not need to eat since he achieved the martial dominator realm. Empress Feiyue was going to become the strongest nine heavens supreme soon. How could she possibly be hungry? My will doesn't have enough immortal force. It's no different than an ordinary person. Empress Feiyue blushed slightly, but she soon calmed down. Are you serious? Even if it doesn't have enough immortal force, it's still a wisp of your will. Besides, if it's just a wisp of your will, why would it? Qin Nan was still struggling to believe it. Enough with the nonsense. You owe me 2 promises. I'm going to use one of them. Go grill some fish for me right now. Empress Feiyue snapped with a dark face. Qin Nan was startled. Empress Feiyue had helped him so much, and she only wanted him to grill some fish for her? Copper mirror. Qin Nan took a deep breath and said sternly, even though my cultivation is still weak, I believe I'll grow stronger very soon. You're using one of my promises to you on this. Empress Feiyue did not expect the guy to be so unreasonable. She clenched her teeth and said coldly, it seems like I've misjudged you. You never keep your promises. Qin Nan wore a helpless look. He waved his hand and said, all right, I'll grill some fish for you, but I still owe you 2 promises. Saying this, he headed to the river. He suddenly came to a realization when he saw the fish swimming at the bottom of the river. That wasn't right. It was impossible for the will of Empress Feiyue to go hungry. Did that mean Empress Feiyue wanted to eat grilled fish? That must be it. Back in the Kanglan continent, the copper mirror tasted like an ordinary person and felt hungry. Perhaps she fell in love with the taste of grilled fish after eating it. Tisk tsk, I didn't expect the copper mirror to have such a hobby. Having this thought, Qin Nan chuckled. He also realized that Empress Feiyue was not that far away from him. The former was not a piece of ice, but a person. Copper mirror, I suddenly feel that you are a little cute. Qin Nan turned his head and couldn't help but ask. The smile on his face hadn't disappeared yet. It seems that your courage has grown after you reconstructed your Tao foundation. Now you even dare to tease me. Empress Feiyue's eyes were as cold as an immortal saber. Qin Nan coughed twice and said no more. He began to focus on roasting the fish. However, he did not notice the rare hint of embarrassment on Empress Feiyue's icy face. Not only was she embarrassed that Qin Nan had discovered her little secret about eating roasted fish, but she was also embarrassed by what Qin Nan had just said. Right at this moment, in the 9th space of the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda, inside one of the rooms, Su Lai told Supreme Wuqiu everything that had happened in the Eastern Realm. Damn, that brat's luck is heaven-defying. Supreme Wuqiu could not help but curse after hearing the words. Senior Supreme, what should we do now? Qin Nan must be heading for the Supreme Heart Fruit. Should we take him on our own, or… At this point, Su Lai didn't continue. Supreme Wuqiu frowned slightly. He said after some time, tell the Emperor's ancient island and the other factions about it. We'll send someone to take down Qin Nan. Su Lai was confused. He said, Senior Supreme, there's no need for us to do that. He believed it was better to take on Qin Nan on their own. Supreme Wuqiu waved his hand and interrupted. Either way, Qin Nan is somehow related to that woman. We don't dare to take the risk. He then looked into Su Lai's eyes and asked, if we accidentally kill Qin Nan and infuriate her, do you think the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda will be able to handle it? Su Lai subconsciously said, of course. This time, he was the one who could not finish the sentence. The most terrifying thing about the woman was not her current strength, but her rate of growth. They might be able to handle it with all they had, but what about the future? Besides, a few days ago, the Patriarch sent us a message saying that the 6 Unity Forbidden Land is going to undergo an unusual change too. The Emperor's ancient island, a few supreme Taoism factions, and the 100 primordial tribes have received the news too. Supreme Wuchio said slowly. What? Su Lai was dumbfounded. The Eastern Realm and the Western Realm were already experiencing unusual changes, and now the 6 Unity Forbidden Land was going to undergo unusual changes too. Even he knew that it was extremely unusual. In the 4th small immortal realm, unusual changes would mean great fortunate encounters. But what did it mean when it was extremely unusual? Su Lai didn't even need to think about it to know that a huge storm was about to come. Alright, off you go. Supreme Wuchio waved his hand. Meanwhile, the extreme living gate in the 5th small immortal realm, a ferocious aura surged continuously. A blood-red cave filled with countless sword marks could be heard. Deep inside it, heavy breathing could be heard. Whoosh! An old man in linen clothes appeared at the entrance of the cave and scanned the place with his divine sense. His face was filled with helplessness and relief as he said, Huixing, I'm sure you know that I'm not restricting you. You can leave whenever you want. I understand. That being said, there was no reaction from the cave. The old man shook his head and said calmly, Qin Nan has shown up in the 4th small immortal realm. The voice was slightly shaken, but it soon calmed down. Where he is has nothing to do with me. Are you sure it has nothing to do with you? The old man smiled and said, Fine, I won't keep it a secret from you. He has already reforged his Tao foundation and achieved the peak Earth immortal realm. The cave instantly fell into a dead silence. Ha ha! A moment later, a burst of deafening laughter took place as a figure flew out from the cave with a tremendous sword intent. I knew he wouldn't let me down. Master, I'm heading to the 4th small immortal realm. The old man was both annoyed and amused by Qin Nan's reaction. He said, Our extreme living gate has 2 exceptional geniuses too. Why aren't you treating them as your opponents? Why do you have to target Qin Nan? Forget it, off you go. Meanwhile, the 9 Palace Golden Immortal sect in the 9th small immortal realm, on an immortal mountain, a young man was lying on a jade silk hammock with a bored look. He was flipping through an ancient book in his hand. I'm a little thirsty. The young man smacked his lips. A flower on an immortal tree behind him suddenly blossomed and fired a few colorful droplets that fell right into the young man's mouth. This stupid flesh, the young man was slightly displeased. All of a sudden, his token glowed brightly. He subconsciously scanned it with his divine sense, and his lazy eyes suddenly lit up. Chapter 1779. In the woods of Spider Lilies meanwhile, in the land of extraordinaries, that B*** CHFUA, she's getting prettier as her cultivation has improved. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor murmured. However, even if he was given 100 guts, he would not dare to pursue Empress Feiyue openly like he did in the past. Speaking of which, I finally understand why Qin Nan is so much luckier than me. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes flickered with envy. Although the concept of fate was vague and no cultivator had been able to thoroughly explain it, it did indeed exist. Both Qin Nan, who was born with an extraordinary background, and the peerless geniuses and experts were encapsulated by great fortune. Ordinary people would not be able to defeat them, thus ordinary people would not be able to kill them. That being said, the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor was only slightly envious. It did not matter how lucky Qin Nan was. He still had to rely on himself in the end. I finally understand why friend Qin Nan feels so close to me. It turns out that he has the same personality as the brother I've lost, Yuanji said with a sigh. He placed his palms together and said righteously, I've made up my mind. From today onward, I'll follow Qin Nan and treat him as my brother. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor almost burst out laughing. Wasn't this bald donkey a little too shameless? He had only made up his mind because Qin Nan was the successor of the 5th Immortal. He believed he would be able to reap great benefits if he followed Qin Nan, yet he still made it sound so righteous. Yuanji, you don't have to say that. We're all Qin Nan's brothers. As the saying goes, if brothers are of one heart, their strength is enough to break through metal. In this vast 9 heavens immortal realm, we have to stick together. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor said sternly. 8 Brilliance is right. Even though Qin Nan's identity is nothing compared to mine, he's still a decent person. Doom, Blood Eye, and Ling Lanlan immediately looked at him disdainfully. However, Doom and Ling Lanlan's eyes flickered too. They both had their own thoughts. As for Qin Nan, after grilling a few more fish, Empress Feiyue flung her sleeves and wrapped them around the fish before vanishing into thin air. She did not say a single word, only leaving a pleasant scent behind. Qin Nan shrugged and returned to the land of extraordinaries. Even though the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Ung, and the others had started refining the artifacts, Qin Nan still felt the atmosphere was a little strange. Qin Nan shook his head. He sat down with his legs crossed and resumed practicing the 12 arts of Tao seeking. Time trickled by, and 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Over the past 3 days, many rare phenomena had taken place in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. Many factions and cultivators immediately made their way to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land after noticing that something was not right. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others continued to refine the energy. The artifacts began to show some reaction too. Xiao Xunliang had achieved the Earth Immortal Realm while Blood Eye had achieved the 3rd layer Earth Immortal Realm. Qin Nan, we've arrived in the Northern Realm. Ling Lanlan suddenly transmitted her thoughts. The Northern Realm was the closest place to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land among the 4 realms. Qin Nan opened his eyes and nodded. He immediately woke the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others up. He then asked Ling Lanlan to find a secluded place to rest. They set up a few dozen forbidding auras and left the land of extraordinaries under Ling Lanlan's grudgeful gaze. The 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda had given him the location of the Supreme Heart Fruit. After the incident, the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda might collude with the other factions to deal with them. Even though the land of extraordinaries had shrunk a few dozen times, it was still quite huge. It was easy to expose themselves. As such, he had no choice but to ask Ling Lanlan to wait for them as a safety precaution. Qin Nan and the others weaved through the Immortal Mountains rapidly. There were not many ancient ruins in the Northern Realm and the Eastern Realm. Most of the ancient ruins here consisted of mountains, forests, and rivers. It was rare to see places like the Sacred Kingdom. Besides, since the Northern Realm was close to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land, the Northern Realm was often visited by 9 Heavens Supremes and peerless rulers. As a result, there were not many fortunate encounters here. There were not many cultivators here either. 5 hours were gone fairly quickly. Qin Nan and the others arrived at the location marked on the map. They came to a stop. A few hundred li ahead, all kinds of towering trees had disappeared. They were replaced by crimson flowers over 10 zhang tall with flowers shaped like dragon claws. They were blossoming toward the west, like a sea of red flames. Even Xiao Xunliang and Blood Eye, who had achieved the Earth Immortal Realm, shivered when they saw the sight. The flowers were called the spider lily. In Buddhism, it was called the demon flower or the hell flower. The Sea of Spider Lilies was one of the 19 reputable ancient ruins in the Northern Realm. It was called the Spider Lily Capital. It had appeared 2,000 years ago. The immortal blessing resource I'm looking for is deep inside the Spider Lily Capital. I'm afraid it's going to be a lot of danger. I'll owe you all a favor after this, Qin Nan said sternly. Friend Qin Nan, we're brothers, there's no need to be so courteous. That's right. Your business is my business too. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and Ung said righteously. How did these two become like this? Qin Nan was startled. He expressed his gratitude and entered the woods of spider lilies. The spider lily was indeed extraordinary since it was called the hell flower or the demon flower. It was constantly emitting an illusionary will that was affecting one's mind and making them feel terrified. The further one ventured into the woods, the stronger the illusionary will became. Time gradually passed. 2 hours later, Qin Nan and the others were approaching the woods of spider lilies. The area under the enormous spider lilies was no longer empty. There were ancient, dilapidated palaces with strange shape. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and Ung lost their interest after taking a quick look around. Most of the artifacts and fortunate encounters had been claimed by someone else. The rest of them were not really valuable. Hang on, there's a terrifying illusionary formation ahead. Ung came to a stop. His eyes were filled with Bodhi runes. He said in astonishment, "This illusionary formation isn't as simple as it seems. Even a peerless ruler in the minor success stage would be trapped inside for more than 10 days, huh? How did someone break through the illusionary formation? Besides, judging from the aura of the entrance, it must have happened around 6 to 14 hours ago." Qin Nan's expression shifted slightly upon hearing the words. Chapter 1780. The Feiyue Immortal Bridge. Let's hope they aren't here for the Supreme Heart Fruit, Qin Nan murmured. He flew into the gap with the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others. They crossed the illusionary formation and proceeded forward. The depths of the Resurrection Lily Forest were no longer filled with gigantic resurrection lilies, but rather a small dimension. The sky and the earth were all blood-red, and when one looked around, one could see numerous ravines and corpses. On top of it, Qin Nan, Ung, and the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor could feel a faint chill coming from all directions. The deeper part of the place was not as safe as the outer part. Even with their cultivation, they would not be able to survive if they accidentally offended something. Isn't this the Demon Highness King-killing formation? Why is it destroyed too? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor was astounded after some time. The Demon Highness King-killing formation was also a terrifying ancient formation. Even though it was not as strong as the forbidden blood of 10 shamans, it was more than enough to deal with a peerless ruler in the minor success stage. Qin Nan's heart sank. He had a bad feeling about it. However, he did not say anything. He continued to follow the directions on the map. They soon encountered 10 different ancient forbidding formations and 3 deadly formations. However, they were all destroyed by a powerful force without any exception. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Ung, and the others fell silent. They would occasionally glance at Qin Nan. It might be a coincidence if only a few of the deadly formations were destroyed, but how could it be a coincidence when so many of them were in the same path? It was obvious that the expert that came earlier had the same goal as Qin Nan. "We're here." Qin Nan stood in front of a huge crack over a few thousand li long and over 50 li wide. He activated the immortal eyes of the divine god of battle and glanced downward. At the bottom of the rift was an illusionary golden-blue stream over 100 li long. It was emitting a shocking immortal intent. "Damn! There's an immortal stream here." The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes glittered. If he could refine this immortal stream, his cultivation would increase significantly. From the looks of it, they didn't come here for this place. Otherwise, they would definitely have casually taken away this celestial stream. Ung said, "I can't say for sure now. The supreme heart fruit that I want to find is here. Let's go down and take a look." Qin Nan shook his head. His figure flashed and landed on the ground. Afterwards, the 4 of them began to conduct a thorough search of the bottom of the crevice. However, even after searching through every single corner, they were unable to find anything. "Look, there's a mark left behind by a big hand," Xiao Shunliang suddenly yelled. Qin Nan and the others immediately looked in the direction he was pointing at. They saw a mark over 60 zhang long and over 5 zhang deep in the ground. From this mark, one could sense a faintly discernible majestic aura. "The supreme heart fruit has been taken away," Even Qin Nan's expression couldn't help but turn ugly at this moment. Currently, he was only left with the last immortal blessing grade resource. Why did this have to happen at such a crucial time? How was he going to resurrect Princess Miao Miao and Jiang Bailan without the Supreme Heart Fruit? Qin Nan, calm down first. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor immediately said, there are only 3 possibilities if the Supreme Heart Fruit has been taken away. First, the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda has sold the information to someone else. Second, the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda and the other factions have come ahead of time to take the Supreme Heart Fruit. Third, didn't you say something unusual is happening in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land? Even the 9 Heavens Supremes are coming, right? It's also possible that these experts happened to stumble into the 6 Unity Forbidden Land and took the Supreme Heart Fruit. Yuanji said thoughtfully, if that's the case, it's most likely the third possibility. If it's the first one, it wouldn't be such a coincidence. The other party has come so soon after Qin Nan arrived. The second possibility is even more unlikely. Those people will definitely stay to deal with us. They will at least take the treasures we've found. Qin Nan gradually calmed his thoughts after hearing the words. Yuanji was right. It must be the third possibility. An expert happened to stumble into the 6 Unity Forbidden Land and took the Supreme Heart Fruit. Besides, even if it was the first possibility, those peerless rulers in the lesser success stage would still head to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land after they arrived at the Spider Lily Woods. Holy crap! Don't tell me we have to go to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land? Xiao Shenliang's face turned pale. It was the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. Even the 9 Heavens Supremes would be there. They were most likely going to die in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land with their cultivation. Look at you. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor rolled his eyes and said, there's no need to go to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. The 6 Unity Forbidden Land hasn't taken place yet, so those experts won't go there in advance. However, those experts and the cultivators that are here should be waiting in the cities close to the Feiyue Immortal Bridge. Qin Nan was startled. The Feiyue Immortal Bridge? Is it related to the Copper Mirror? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor chuckled and said, Qin Nan, you might not know this, but the outer area of the 6 Unity Forbidden Land is surrounded by the extermination Yellow River. The river has existed since ancient times. It's extremely mysterious and terrifying. Those below the 9 Heavens Supreme Realm will die if they try to cross it. The only way to cross the river is through the Feiyue Immortal Bridge. The bridge wasn't named after Feiyue, but a few thousand years ago, that ******* ch Feiyue. Ugh, pooh, Senior Empress Feiyue, I'm not sure what she did, but the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda and the Emperor's ancient island are named after her. Qin Nan's lips twisted. The bridge was named after the Copper Mirror. What exactly did the Copper Mirror do here in the past? Let's head to the Feiyue Immortal Bridge now. Qin Nan said. He had completely calmed down. It did not matter who had taken the Supreme Heart Fruit, he had to get it. Let's go. The few of them returned the way they came. After sending Ling Lanlan a message with their divine sense, they flew off in another direction. However, to their surprise, 2 hours after they left, a bunch of cultivators showed up and went straight into the woods of Hurricane Lilies. Not long after, the peerless rulers, Su Lai, and the rest of the peerless geniuses wore twisted expressions. Chapter 1781. Immortal Emperor Gulin. 2 hours later, Qin Nan and the others saw the destruction Yellow River in the distance. This river was 99,999 feet wide. It corresponded to the extremities of the Great Tao. Everywhere it passed, the surrounding space was dyed yellow. In addition to it, they could hear the thunderous roar of the river even when they were a great distance away. They could clearly sense an ancient, terrifying force surging from the river. They would surely be crushed into pieces if they were caught in it. Qin Nan and the others did not purposely go any closer to observe the river. They continued to fly forward. Half the period it took an incense stick to burn later, they saw the silhouettes of two enormous ancient cities. Hundreds of miles away from the ancient city, there was a bridge made of some kind of light golden ore. It was 9,999 feet wide, and stood on the extermination Yellow River as if it had received a supreme decree. No matter how the river water erupted with destructive power, it did not move and was not affected in the slightest. The bridge was the Feyue Immortal Bridge. Qin Nan scanned the bridge with the immortal eyes of the divine god of battle. He withdrew his gaze and approached the two enormous ancient cities. Their eyes flickered not long after. They could see battles taking place in 4 different locations around the two enormous ancient cities. 2 of the places had various immortal glows and explosions. The cultivators involved in the battles were between the human immortal realm and the heaven immortal realm. There were at least 50 people in each place. As for the other 2 places, they were in the depths of the sky. Terrifying collisions of energy caused countless pieces of the void to shatter. Boundless immortal light was like numerous stars hanging in the sky. Even if one wasn't involved, one could still feel the terrifying aura within. A few peerless rulers were fighting against one another. After all, the 4th small immortal realm was known as the Realm of Chaos. Apart from the 10,000-layer immortal pagoda and the Emperor's ancient island, the rest of the places did not have any rules. If they were to stumble into an expert with a strange temper, they would feel uncomfortable just by looking at them. They would simply kill them on the spot without any reason. Of course, in this place, under normal circumstances, conflicts would be settled outside the city. They would not start a fight inside the city to avoid causing any damage to the city. After all, they still needed a place to stay. Qin Nan and the others withdrew their auras. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor covered Xiao Shenliang's mouth and flew into one of the cities. The exceptional genius of the Nongyan tribe, Zhu Yan, and the exceptional genius of the Wenga tribe, Gu Xiaoyao, are about to fight outside the city. Damn, are you serious? It's rare to see such a battle between peerless geniuses. Let's head over at once. The battle between Zhu Yan and Gu Xiaoyao, as well as the battle between the 6 celestial kings, is now open. Everyone, come and place your bets. The 9 Palaces Golden Immortal Sect is a supreme Taoist orthodoxy with a history of 10,000 years. It is absolutely fair and has no shady dealings. All kinds of voices immediately rang in the ears of Qin Nan and the others. The streets were crowded with cultivators. There were human immortals, earth immortals, and heaven immortals. Some were chatting loudly while others were whispering to one another. The disciples of the 9 Palaces Golden Immortal Sect were shuttling back and forth. Their outfits were quite eye-catching. The streets were filled with vendors of various sizes. It was a lively scene. I keep bumping into the people of the 9 Palaces Golden Immortal Sect everywhere I go. Don't their disciples need to cultivate too? Qin Nan was left speechless when he saw the familiar outfits. His heart skipped a beat too. He had sensed several powerful auras in the city. His heart skipped a beat when he sensed the auras. Many experts had come to the city. Even the 9 Heavens Supremes had arrived in advance. Exceptional genius? Peerless ruler? That's a huge deal. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes glittered. He looked at Qin Nan and rubbed his hands. He said with a smile, "Hee, Qin Nan, why don't I go and take a look? I might find something." Little did Qin Nan know, the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor was quite fond of gambling. The disciples of the 9 Palaces Golden Immortal Sect used to know his name. They would greet him with a smile and treat him like he was their master. The reason being that he had lost 10 out of 10 of his bet. He rarely won. Cultivator 8 Brilliance, this place is very dangerous. We might offend someone. It's safer if we go together, Yuanji said righteously. Qin Nan rolled his eyes and said, "Fine, you can go together, but don't attract too much attention." He had no clue where the supreme heart fruit was. There was nothing the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others could do to help him. As a matter of fact, even he was quite interested in the duel between Zhu Yan and Gu Xiaoyao, but he did not have the time for it. But what should we do next? Qin Nan lowered his head and fell into deep thought. According to their speculation, the supreme heart fruit was most likely taken by a peerless ruler or even a 9 heavens supreme when they were passing by the Hurricane Lily Wood. If the mysterious expert did not say a word after taking the supreme heart fruit, there was no way Qin Nan would be able to find the supreme heart fruit no matter how hard he tried. I'll check out the inn and the other places first. I'll visit the other 2 cities and see if I can find anything. If I don't find anything, I'll ask the people of the 9 Palaces Golden Immortal Sect. Qin Nan soon made up his mind. Even though Qin Nan always thought the Supreme Taoism faction was not serious, he had to admit that apart from the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda and the Emperor's ancient island, the 9 Palace Golden Immortal Sect was most likely the only faction in the 4th Small Immortal Realm that had a lot of information. Did you hear? 5 9 Heavens Supremes are here now. Tisk tsk, 5 of them already. Doesn't that mean there will be more than 10 of them when the 6 Unity Forbidden Land shows up? Sigh. Such a pity, with our cultivation, we can only wander around the outskirts of the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. We won't be able to take a look inside. Qin Nan listened to the conversations on the street while using his immortal eyes of the divine god of battle to scan the stalls on both sides of the street. That's Immortal Emperor Gulin. Holy crap, even Immortal Emperor Gulin is setting up a stall here. What's there to be surprised about? There are at least 6 immortal emperors setting up stalls in the 2 cities. A great uproar suddenly took place on the street. Many cultivators were talking while looking in another direction. Qin Nan glanced in the direction of the voice and saw a short-haired middle-aged man with a cross-shaped scar on his face, emitting a ferocious aura, sitting on the side of the street. He took out various things and placed them on a black cloth, before setting up a wooden plaque beside it. Chapter 1782. 6 Unity Immortal Jade, Emerald Camel Dragon Flower. 7 Stars Meridian? That's a Tao weapon. Holy crap, is that the legendary Eye of the Azura? When the gazes of some powerful cultivators landed on the black cloth, their hearts shook and they couldn't help but exclaim in shock. Their words caused the surrounding cultivators to involuntarily suck in a breath of cold air. No one had expected Immortal King Gulin to take out so many shocking treasures. Is that the supreme heart fruit? Qin Nan's heart skipped a beat when he saw a fruit around the size of a palm covered in blue, golden, and red runes. It was emitting a faint aura. Even his breathing intensified. The fruit looked exactly the same as the one on the map. It must be the supreme heart fruit. However, he did not expect to stumble into the supreme heart fruit, which he initially thought to be extremely difficult to find. Here he was. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Qin Nan took a deep breath to calm his thoughts. He went up to Immortal Emperor Gulin and brought his fists together. Senior, how much are you selling this fruit for? Immortal Emperor Gulin did not even lift his eyelids. He said calmly, not for sale, give me something to trade for it. His voice was a little sharp. Even though his tone was calm, it still felt menacing. Qin Nan, if you dare to trade me for it, I won't let you go. Doom, who had been quiet all this time, suddenly yelled in Qin Nan's mind. How is that possible? Qin Nan let out a cough. He took out a jade jar and said without hesitation, Senior, I have 3 of these pills. Can I trade them for it? Many cultivators immediately noticed that the pills inside the jar were immortal blessing pills. Their eyes flickered with astonishment. They did not expect the young man with blood-red hair, who was not even a heaven immortal, would have something so valuable, not to mention that he had 3 of them. Are you blind? Didn't you see what's written on the token? Immortal Emperor Gulin said bluntly. Qin Nan was slightly startled. He was a little excited just now and didn't pay attention to the wooden sign. His gaze shifted and he found that there was only one sentence written on it. Everything here can be exchanged with Frost Souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jade. Qin Nan frowned and asked, Senior, what are the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades? Immortal Emperor Gulin simply ignored him. A Heaven Immortal nearby smiled and said, Little brother, is this your first time in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land? The Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades are unique to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. These two immortal items both contain extremely profound power and are extremely difficult to find. It's very difficult to find 1 or 2 pieces. The passion in the eyes of the surrounding cultivators cooled down. They couldn't defeat Immortal King Gulin, so they couldn't take these things away. It was difficult for them to find the Frost Souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades. After all, the 6 Unity Forbidden Land was extremely dangerous. Normally, even peerless rulers would not dare to set foot in it recklessly. They were only here because a great change was about to take place. Many 9 Heavens Supremes would enter the place. They might be able to secure some benefits by following them. Thank you, Senior. Qin Nan backed away from the stall. He let out a relieved sigh instead of feeling displeased. It was because he had discovered the existence of the Supreme Heart Fruit. If Immortal Emperor Gulin did not say anything after obtaining the Supreme Heart Fruit, it would take Qin Nan a lot of time to learn about it. Besides, the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades were both immortal items that could be found easily. It seems like I'll have to enter the 6 Unity Forbidden Land right away. Qin Nan's eyes glittered. An immortal blessing resource like the Supreme Heart Fruit was extremely attractive to many peerless rulers. Many people were going to set their eyes on it, thus he could not afford to waste any time. Meanwhile, not far away on the street, a few young men and women were having a casual stroll when a young man whose eyes were engulfed in purple flames suddenly halted in his tracks and fixed his gaze onto Qin Nan's figure. Qin Nan? The young man was none other than the genius of the Nongyen tribe that Qin Nan had met once at the 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda, Zhu Ziyun. He was also Zhu Zihuang's brother. He was the one that told Zhu Zihuang about Qin Nan's identity and the fact that Qin Nan had an immortal saber. So that's the strongest immortal Qin Nan who has an extraordinary immortal saber? The few people around Zhu Ziyun all had looks of surprise in their eyes. They were from various ancient tribes too, including the Wengu tribe. However, their status was quite ordinary in their tribes. Even Zhu Ziyun's status was incomparable to theirs. Brother Yun, isn't Brother Huang a fan of sabers? Why don't we team up and rob Qin Nan? What do you think? I remember that guy's Dao Foundation has been crippled. He doesn't have any strength left. A young man of the ancient tribe suggested. The others nodded upon hearing the suggestion. That's right, and I don't like the kid too. Zhu Ziyun's eyes flickered coldly. He had been searching for an artifact in the northern realm for the past few days. Besides, his status in the Nongyen tribe was not as high as Zhu Zihuang's, thus he was still unaware of what had happened in the land of extraordinaries. He had no idea that the experts of the Nongyen tribe had teamed up with the experts of other factions to search for Qin Nan. Brother Yun, there's no need for you to do anything. The few of us are more than enough to take care of someone like Qin Nan, the young man of the ancient tribe said. However, before he could finish, Zhu Ziyun's face was filled with astonishment. He quickly waved his hand and interrupted, "Don't say anything." The young men and women of the ancient tribe were startled. They quickly glanced in the direction of the voice and were astounded too. They saw a young man in a white robe with sharp eyebrows and an extraordinary temperament walking toward Qin Nan not far away. "Qin Nan, what a coincidence, we meet again," the young man said coldly after coming to a stop. Qin Nan turned around and was startled when he saw the young man. He said with a calm smile, "What a coincidence indeed. I didn't expect the young master of the Nine-Palace Golden Immortal Sect to be here too. The young man was none other than Meng Jiugong, who had a bet with Qin Nan in the Flowing Moon Dao City. He possessed the rare flesh of good luck. Meng Jiugong. He's here too? The cultivators nearby were astounded. Even immortal Emperor Gulin raised his head and glanced into the distance. Even though Meng Jiugong was not an exceptional genius, his identity and unique physique were enough to prove that he had a bright future ahead of him. Qin Nan secretly activated the immortal eyes of the divine god of battle. He was astounded following a glimpse. He did not expect Meng Jiugong's cultivation to improve to the 9th layer Earth Immortal Realm in just a few months. He had even achieved the minor success stage of the Dao realm. Chapter 1783. Misfortunes never come singly. Qin Nan's lips twisted upon hearing the words. He could understand why Meng Jiugong had set his eyes on him. After all, Meng Jiugong had the rare flesh of good luck. He was blessed by luck in every aspect. Meng Jiugong would not let go of the chance to find someone with the flesh of bad luck. However, Qin Nan did not have the flesh of bad luck. Meng Jiugong, I'll be honest with you under the circumstances. Qin Nan soon told Meng Jiugong the reason why he was called the flesh of bad luck. He no longer had anything to worry about. He was not afraid that the others would find out that he was able to trigger the unusual phenomenon of the forbidden area. You don't have the flesh of bad luck? Meng Jiugong's expression darkened. His eyes flickered with anger. So he had been tricked all along? Zhu Xiun and the young men of the primordial tribe immediately realized what was going on. Meng Jiugong was here to trouble Qin Nan. It seems like we don't have to do anything. Being targeted by Meng Jiugong is no different than being targeted by a peerless ruler. This Qin Nan is in for it. A gloating look appeared in Zhu Xiun's eyes. At the same time, he secretly made up his mind in his heart. If Meng Jiugong was not after the extraordinary immortal saber in Qin Nan's hand, they would wait for Meng Jiugong to teach Qin Nan a lesson before attacking Qin Nan to steal the immortal saber. That's the truth. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Qin Nan wore an apologetic look. Even though he did not think Meng Jiugong was reasonable when he first met him, his impression of Meng Jiugong had greatly changed after hearing what Meng Jiugong said during the Battle of the Strongest Immortal. Meng Jiugong wore a dark expression. A powerful aura was looming in his body. The cultivators nearby withdrew their necks and quickly backed away, as they were afraid of being dragged into the mess. Qin Nan, Meng Jiugong took a deep breath and said coldly, "Hit me." Hearing that, all the surrounding cultivators were stunned. Qin Nan was also stunned. He wondered if he had misheard. What did you just say?" Meng Jiugong's face turned even colder. "Attack, hit me. Don't you want the Frost Soul and the 6 Unity Immortal Jade? As long as you do as I say, I will tell you where you can find these immortal items in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land." Hearing this, Qin Nan and the surrounding cultivators were dumbfounded. Even immortal Emperor Gulin lifted his gaze and looked at Meng Jiugong suspiciously. Was there something wrong with the young palace master of the 9 Palaces Golden Immortal Sect? Meng Jiugong, are you serious? Qin Nan reacted quickly. He did need to know where he could find the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades. Nonsense, hurry up and attack. Use all, no, just 3/10 of your strength will do. Meng Jiugong rolled his eyes. He was going to ask Qin Nan to use all his strength, but he quickly changed his mind when he thought about Qin Nan's cultivation. All right, I won't go easy on you then. Qin Nan squinted. A strong aura burst out of his body. Even though Meng Jiugong's request was extremely strange, how could he possibly reject it when it was right in front of him? Whoosh! Qin Nan arrived in front of Meng Jiugong within an instant. He gathered the will of the battle path on his fist and threw a punch at Meng Jiugong's chest. Bang! A huge blast took place. Meng Jiugong cried out in pain. He was sent flying like an arrow being fired. He slammed into the ground in the distance and left a huge pit on the ground. His body was covered in blood. The surrounding cultivators felt their chests ache as they watched. Was there something wrong with Meng Jiugong's head? He actually let Qin Nan land a solid punch on him. However, they were dumbfounded when they saw the following scene. Meng Jiugong was overjoyed instead of being enraged. He burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, Qin Nan, are you trying to trick me? Do you think I, Meng Jiugong, am that easy to trick? Take this jade slip with you. There must be a duel between you and me. Qin Nan accepted the scroll. He immediately realized what was going on after hearing Meng Jiugong's word. He said helplessly, I'm not lying to you, it's true that I'm not. As he spoke, he felt a little strange in his heart. Meng Jiugong had made such a strange request because he had the flesh of good luck. He was always under the protection of great luck. Even a 9 Heavens Supreme would not be able to land a punch like that on Meng Jiugong, let alone Qin Nan. He would be affected by it somehow. When Meng Jiugong was trying to achieve the human immortal realm, a few hundred heaven gods had come to hunt him down, yet they all died before Meng Jiugong could do anything. However, Qin Nan clearly did not have the flesh of bad luck. How did he manage to land a punch on Meng Jiugong? However, Zhu Ziyun and the other ancient family disciples, who were standing not too far away, couldn't help but shiver when they saw this scene. They were clueless about what had happened. They only knew Meng Jiugong was overjoyed after Qin Nan beat him up. What did it mean? It meant Qin Nan and Meng Jiugong were extremely close. If we had gone up to cause trouble for Qin Nan, Zhu Ziyun was relieved upon having this thought. Even his father would not be able to protect him if he offended Meng Jiugong. Qin Nan. At this moment, a thunderous roar exploded in the air above the street. Qin Nan's heart skipped a beat. He lifted his gaze. He saw Long Xianling and 8 cultivators in black robes staring at him with icy murderous intents. Long Xianling? He has come all the way to the 4th small immortal realm? Qin Nan was startled. Not many people knew he had come to the 4th small immortal realm. How did Long Xianling know? Was it really a coincidence? Long Xuanling's cultivation has reached the 5th layer heaven immortal realm. The cultivators in black robes beside him are all around the 5th layer heaven immortal realm. Qin Nan swiftly calmed his thoughts. After inspecting the cultivator's cultivation, he immediately executed the unstoppable step without hesitation, sprinting forward at a rapid pace. He was not afraid of the cultivators with his current capabilities, but the city was filled with all kinds of people. If he were to fight them, he might attract the attention of the 10,000-layer immortal pagoda, the Emperor's ancient island, the Nongyan tribe, and other factions. Besides, he still needed to retrieve the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jade. His best option was to enter the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. Qin Nan, we've finally found you. Are you trying to run away now? Long Xianling let out a hollow laugh. He and the cultivators in black robes unleashed brilliant immortal glows and chased after Qin Nan like rays of light. Qin Nan was the first to leave the ancient city under the astounded gaze of the cultivators. He took out a badge and was about to send a message to the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others. Chapter 1784. A Tragedy. Qin Nan was startled. He immediately looked in another direction. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor took out the leg bone of the Demon Highness realm, while Yuanji put on a golden kasaya. He brought Blood Eye and Xiao Shunliang and fled for their lives miserably. Behind them were Immortal Emperor Jiangjue, Immortal Emperor Zhugang, Immortal Emperor Guqing, Immortal Emperor Qingli, and 10 other peerless rulers with formidable auras. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor had an urge to vomit blood when he saw Qin Nan and Long Xianling and the others, who were emitting a shocking murderous aura. Damn it! Wasn't Qin Nan supposed to have a formidable background? Wasn't he the successor of the fifth immortal? Why was it that being by his side was full of unlucky things? Qin Nan, he's over there. Immortal Emperor Jiangjue, Immortal Emperor Zhugang, and the others soon noticed Qin Nan's presence. The murderous intent in their eyes skyrocketed. They were not after Qin Nan just to claim the artifacts that Qin Nan and the others had. They also hated Qin Nan's guts. Don't say a word, run into the Six Unity Forbidden Land. Qin Nan immediately transmitted his voice to the Eight Brilliance Demon Emperor. Qin Nan, the Eight Brilliance Demon Emperor, and the others quickly regrouped under the pursuit of the two groups of cultivators. They sprinted toward the Feiyue Immortal Bridge at full speed. The spectacular sight startled many cultivators in the two ancient cities. Where did these cultivators come from? Why are they being hunted by 10 peerless rulers? The Earth Immortal Realm rogue cultivator, who answered Qin Nan's question, let out a sigh. Qin Nan. Qin Nan. I remember now, isn't he the strongest immortal whose Dao foundation was destroyed, Qin Nan? What? It's him? I was wondering why his name sounded so familiar. Isn't the monk beside him the exceptional genius of the ancient Bodhi temple, Yuanji? Passed away? How did he get together with Qin Nan? Many cultivators soon recognized Qin Nan and Yuanji's identities. In particular, Qin Nan's reputation in the Nine Heavens Immortal Realm was even greater than ordinary peerless rulers and Nine Heavens Supremes. In addition to it, Qin Nan and Yuanji's arrival in the two ancient cities was like a little storm. Most cultivators soon heard about it. Qin Nan has passed away. Interesting. Some of the cultivators wore grins on their faces. Meanwhile, Qin Nan, the Eight Brilliance Demon Emperor, and the others had arrived at the bridgehead of the Feiyue Immortal Bridge under the surveillance of thousands of divine senses. However, despite their outstanding speed, Immortal Emperor Jiangjue, Immortal Emperor Zhugang, and the rest of the peerless rulers still managed to catch up to them. In just a few moments, the peerless rulers would be able to execute their Dao arts to trap them in place. Who would have thought this Qin Nan would offend the peerless rulers of these factions? The heavens are really helping us. If that's the case, we can kill Qin Nan today without needing Supreme South World's help. Long Xianling wore a cold grin. Doom, are you really going to stand aside and do nothing in such a dangerous situation? In the nick of time, Qin Nan let out a groan. This king has already told you before that this king won't make a move unless there is a huge benefit to it. However, I'll make an exception today, but only once. Doom said calmly, you guys channel your immortal force. Qin Nan, the Eight Brilliance Demon Emperor, and the others immediately channeled their immortal force into the heaven-repairing cauldron without any hesitation. A pair of bloodshot eyes sprang open inside the cauldron. A tremendous aura burst out of it. What's that? Immortal Emperor Jiangjue, Immortal Emperor Zhugang, and the others were startled. They knew Qin Nan had the heaven-repairing cauldron from Su Lai and the others, but they did not expect the beast inside the heaven-repairing cauldron to be so terrifying. Even they felt a chill running down their spines. Wrath of Doom. Doom opened his bloody mouth and uttered a roar. The boundless power was like an unparalleled heavenly dragon that soared into the sky. Crap! Immortal Emperor Jiangjue and the others immediately reacted. They were just about to execute their strongest moves when they realized that the force they were facing was so weak. It was not that it was weak. The force was strong enough to destroy a peak heaven immortal, but it was still too weak to threaten a peerless ruler, especially 10 peerless rulers at the same time. Holy crap! Doom, aren't you ranked second among the 10 primordial evils? Why is your attack so weak? The Eight Brilliance Demon Emperor had an urge to vomit blood. Besides, Doom's words sounded like he could easily resolve the crisis if he made a move. I'm being suppressed by the heaven-repairing cauldron, and you don't have enough immortal force. What can I do? Doom rolled his eyes. However, its previous attack and its intimidating aura had bought Qin Nan and his crew some extra time. Qin Nan and the others did not want to waste any time. They stepped onto the Feiyue Immortal Bridge and swiftly flew to the end of the bridge to enter the Six Unity Forbidden Land. Even though we've only entered the outer area of the Six Unity Forbidden Land, even peerless rulers are being suppressed by the Force. Qin Nan and the others managed to escape for the time being. The divine senses immediately withdrew upon seeing this. Meng Jiugong withdrew his gaze too. It was enough that Qin Nan was fine. In his opinion, even if Qin Nan was going to die, he was the one who should be the one to do it. Not far away, Zhu Ziyun and the rest had a look of pity in their eyes. However, Qin Nan did say he doesn't have the flesh of bad fortune, and judging from his reaction, he doesn't seem to be lying to me. Could it be? Meng Jiugong frowned. He was not too sure about it. Was it just an accident that the punch was able to land on him? Meng Jiugong suddenly saw Zhu Ziyun and the others from the corner of his eyes. He pointed at Zhu Ziyun and said calmly, "You, come here and hit me." The cultivators nearby and the young men of the primordial tribe beside Zhu Ziyun were envious. It was a great job. Not only could they beat the young master of the Nine-Palace Golden Immortal Sect up, they could also reap some benefit. The scroll that Qin Nan had taken was something many cultivators dreamed of. Are you serious? Zhu Ziyun was overjoyed, yet he did not think it was a good idea. He let out a cough and said, Cultivator Meng, you won't blame me if I hit you, right? Meng Jiugong waved his hand impatiently and said, Just do as I say. If you can hit me, I won't mistreat you. Zhu Ziyun was overjoyed. He immediately unleashed the immortal force in his body. His eyes burned vigorously with purple flames. Cloud-shattering palm. Zhu Ziyun moved rapidly. His hand emitted a mystical glow as he threw it at Meng Jiugong's chest. However, just as his hand was about to land on Meng Jiugong, a thunderous roar exploded above him. How bold of you to attack our young master! Following it, 13 Peak Heaven Immortals charged at Zhu Ziyun at lightning speed. They executed a series of immortal arts and knocked Zhu Ziyun 1,000 zhang away. Cries of agony immediately took place. The cultivators nearby were dumbfounded. The young men of the primordial tribe were dumbfounded too. Zhu Ziyun was in so much agony that he was coughing up blood again and again. Why was it so different from before? How useless, you can't even hit me. Chapter 1785. Flesh of the Sacred Spirit. Meanwhile, at the end of the Feiyue Immortal Bridge, what do we do now? Immortal Emperor Zhugong's eyes burned with flames. His face was twisted. Even though they had 10 peerless rulers and 4 perfect stage peerless rulers, they still failed to take down a few Earth Immortals under the surveillance of so many cultivators. It was quite embarrassing. If we go inside now, we only have a 30% chance of capturing them. Besides, the rare phenomena are going to take place in a day or two. I'm afraid the 9 Heavens Supremes won't allow us to go inside first, just in case something unexpected happens. Immortal Emperor Jiangjue said after a slight ponder. His intention was quite obvious. We'll wait for the rare phenomena to take place, then we'll make our move on Qin Nan. However, we'll have to ask the Emperor's ancient island and 10,000-layer immortal pagoda to keep an eye on the realm of chaos. Let us know if the experts of the Sky Taihuang sect are here. Immortal Emperor Guqing said. Qin Nan had reforged his Tao foundation, thus he must have a superior status in the Sky Taihuang sect. If the Sky Taihuang sect knew Qin Nan was in danger, they would not sit back and do nothing. The other immortal emperors nodded in agreement and returned to the ancient city. Let's go too. Long Xuanling's eyes glittered. He transmitted his thoughts to the others in black robes. Meanwhile, the outermost area of the Six Unity Forbidden Land, as soon as Qin Nan and his crew set foot on the land that was full of secrets, they immediately sensed a magnificent force suppressing them. Their cultivation dropped by 5 layers. Their divine sense was restricted to 999 zhang, including Qin Nan's immortal eyes of the divine god of battle and blood eyes, blood-red eyes. They could only see 999 zhang ahead. Qin Nan and his crew were overjoyed instead of being shocked. As such, they were confident they could avoid immortal Emperor Jiangjue and the others. Qin Nan frowned slightly. The white-blue flower under the ownerless heaven pattern in his divine sense was emitting wisps of light. In the past, the mysterious white-blue flower had only affected the forbidden lands and blessed immortal lands silently. Why is it glowing now? Could it be because the 6 Unity Forbidden Land was extraordinary? Forget it. Qin Nan shook his head to clear his thoughts. He said to the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others, "I've just received a scroll containing the location of the Frost Soul and the 6 Unity Immortal Jade from Meng Jiugong." The grudge in the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's heart vanished upon hearing the words. His eyes glittered. As expected of the successor of the 5th Immortal, following by his side, there were indeed endless benefits. Qin Nan immediately sent his divine will into the jade slip. Inside the jade slip was a map drawn using immortal energy. There were directions marked on the jade slip. It even marked out the location of the Feiyue Immortal Bridge, allowing one to determine their location. Qin Nan took a closer look, and understood that this map was a region of the entire 6 Unity Forbidden Land. The corresponding region was also in the periphery, and was not too far away from them. There were also a total of 3 locations marked on the map. "Follow me." Qin Nan flew forward with a flicker. The others followed closely behind him. In the 6 Unity Forbidden Land, where even 9 Heaven Supremes had fallen, Qin Nan and the others did not dare to lower their guard even when they were at the outermost area. They did not fly at their full speed. Around half an hour later, Qin Nan and the others finally slowed down. They were already very close to the first location. The excitement in the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes dissipated. It was replaced with a stern look. They had seen a lot of corpses along the way. Among them, there were 15 corpses of Heaven Immortals. They were only at the outermost area of the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. It should be the safest place. However, even Heaven Immortals had fallen here. It clearly indicated how dangerous and terrifying the place was. "We're here." Qin Nan came to a stop. In front of them were towering ancient trees over 100 zhang tall and of various shapes and sizes, with dense branches and leaves. "There isn't anything here?" Xiao Shunliang scanned his surroundings with a confused look. He did not even see a single natural resource, let alone the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jade. Qin Nan, the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, and Yuanji ignored him. They exchanged glances with one another and nodded. They flicked their fingers and fired a wisp of their will into an ancient tree. In an instant, wave-like ripples appeared on the trunk of the ancient tree, and an entrance that was 60 feet tall and 20 feet wide slowly appeared. The place was encapsulated by an invisible formation. Normally, even Heaven Immortals would not notice it when they passed by. If it weren't for the map, even Qin Nan and the others might miss the entrance. "This place is extraordinarily dangerous. I'll take the lead." The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor chuckled. He turned into a puff of demonic smoke and floated into the entrance. Qin Nan and the others followed closely behind. Qin Nan and the others heard the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's furious scolding as soon as they set foot in the entrance. "Holy crap, are you trying to set me up? I've been on tenterhooks all the way here, and you're giving me these things." Qin Nan's heart sank. He quickly glanced ahead and saw them arriving deep inside a cave over 30 zhang tall and 8 zhang wide. On the mountain wall at the end of the path, there were many ice crystals that were half the size of a palm and had all kinds of shapes and sizes. Inside them, there was a shocking will. On the other side, there were pieces of thumb-sized, pitch-black jades covered in 6 mysterious patterns and constantly emitting a strange aura. The black jades were most likely the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jade. However, even the Blood-Eye Earth Immortal could tell that the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades were still absorbing wisps of mysterious energy from the unknown. In other words, the Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades had yet to fully mature. They were only half-finished products. It was meaningless to take them away. No wonder the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor was cursing. Qin Nan's expression darkened too. There were only 3 locations marked on the scroll. The first one was only half-finished product. What if the other 2 places were half-finished too? Don't tell me this Meng Jiogong is trying to set us up? Qin Nan rubbed his forehead. What should he do under the circumstances? Haha, look, I didn't guess wrong, did I? There must be some natural resources here, but they are hidden by a formation, mem? Who are you? Chapter 1786. Die, all of you. Chapter 1796. Immortal Cultivator, die, all of you. As the voice fell, 11 more figures appeared in the cave. The leader was a young man in a white robe with the word sacred on his forehead. His skin was extraordinarily fair, and his cultivation had reached the 6th layer Earth Immortal Realm. His eyes were filled with astonishment when he saw Qin Nan and the others. The rest of the cultivators were young too, but their cultivation was significantly higher than the young man's. Each of them had the word sacred on their forehead, indicating that they had reached the 8th layer Earth Immortal Realm. 2 of them had even mastered the 4 extremities. The word sacred on their forehead, they are from the tribe of immortal spirits. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor immediately transmitted his voice to the others. He purposely explained to Qin Nan, the tribe of immortal spirits is one of the 100 ancient tribes in the 2nd small immortal realm. However, rumors say that this ancient tribe is ranked in the top 20 of the 100 ancient tribes. Ranked in the top 20? Qin Nan was startled. He now knew that being ranked in the top 20 of the 100 ancient tribes implied that the tribe of immortal spirits was on par with the 13 supreme Taoism factions. As a matter of fact, the tribe of immortal spirits was even stronger than the 13 supreme Taoism factions in certain aspects. Besides, it seems like Princess Miao Miao is somehow related to the tribe of immortal spirit. Qin Nan murmured. Yo, you guys are not from the tribe of immortal spirits, yet you still manage to find this place. It seems like you are quite capable. The young man raised his brows with a prideful look. I'm in a good mood, so I'm not in the mood to kill you all. Leave at once. The faces of Qin Nan, Yuanji, and the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor turned cold upon hearing the words. We found this place first, what right do you have to ask us to leave? Qin Nan said calmly. You found this place first? Can you not be so childish? Don't you know that every resource in this place belongs to the tribe of immortal spirits? The young man's eyes flickered with disdain as he said, Since you don't know how to appreciate my kindness, don't blame me for being impolite. Following his words, the other 10 young cultivators beside him grinned coldly. Formidable immortal glows burst out from their bodies. They had used their secret technique to observe Qin Nan's group of 5. Although 3 of them were at the peak of the Earth Immortal Realm, the 10 of them could easily crush them. Don't do anything, I'll do it, Qin Nan said faintly. He was currently in a bad mood. You want to deal with the 10 of us by yourself? The eyes of the 10 young cultivators flickered with anger. Even though they were only inner sect disciples in the tribe of immortal spirits, they had never been looked down upon like today. Jiujiu's Divine Feather Heavenly Spear. Red Dipper Sword Technique. Burning God Fist. The 10 cultivators quickly performed several immortal hand seals and executed a series of immortal arts at a rapid pace. The strong gusts of wind immediately shook the cave vigorously. Hee hee, you're even more arrogant than me. I would like to see how you're going to stop the 10 of us by yourself. The young man leading the group wore a hollow grin. However, before he could finish, Qin Nan's eyes flickered calmly. He did not unleash any aura, nor did he unleash any immortal force. He simply threw a punch forward. Bang! However, such a simple punch erupted with a might comparable to a mountain torrent. It instantly shattered the immortal techniques one after another. Boundless gales surged forward like a violent dragon. Crap! The 10 young cultivators were startled. They had kicked an iron plate. You 9, activate your sacred spirit flesh and use your secret techniques to keep him busy. I'll bring young master out of here. The older disciple, who had reached the 4 extremities of the martial way, shouted as he quickly retreated. Do you really think you can leave now that you're here? Immortal flames burst into life in Qin Nan's eyes as he unleashed a formidable eye technique. It formed an illusionary mountain in the rift and crushed the cave into pieces. Bang! With a loud bang, the earth quaked and the mountains shook. The 10 young cultivators cried out in agony. The sacred glow that they had just accumulated was shattered into pieces. Their bodies were severely injured too. That being said, it was only because Qin Nan had gone easy on them. Otherwise, they would have died for sure. The young man's eyes widened. How did this ordinary-looking guy with blood-red hair possess such a terrifying cultivation? Qin Nan remained calm. He slowly walked toward the young man. What are you trying to do? I'm telling you, my grandfather is a 9 heavens supreme, the 2nd patriarch of the tribe of immortal spirits. Besides, there are quite a lot of people from the tribe of immortal spirits nearby. The young man was panicking. He forced himself to calm down and said sternly, Holy crap, this kid has such a formidable background? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Xiao Shunliang, and the others smacked their lips. No wonder the kid dared to act so disdainfully in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. Even if he had offended someone, they would not dare to investigate further after learning the young man's background. After all, not only was his grandfather a 9 heavens supreme, he was also the 2nd patriarch of the tribe of immortal spirits. However, Qin Nan's expression remained the same. He did not even frown. He threw a punch at the young man's face. The young man cried out in agony. His face was covered in blood. How dare you hit me? The young man's face was filled with disbelief. Soon after, intense rage erupted from his eyes as he roared hoarsely, Since I was born, other than my grandfather, my father, my sister, and my uncle, I have never been beaten by anyone else. I'm going to tell my grandfather about what happened here. When the time comes, I'm going to wipe out your entire family. Everyone who is related to you will die. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Xiao Shunliang, and the others almost vomited blood upon hearing the words. Even Doom inside the heaven-repairing cauldron could not help but burst out laughing. This brat's guts were really not ordinary. He even dared to say this. Everyone who was related to Qin Nan had to die? He might be ranked second among the 10 primordial evils, but was the kid seriously asking Empress Feyue to die? Or was he asking the 5th immortal to die? Even though the 5th immortal had fallen in this world, who knew if such a terrifying existence had set up some traps in this world? Chapter 1787. The seal of the Master Spirit. Qin Nan's eyes turned colder. He hated it when people threatened him like that. Young man, you've got quite a temper. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor went up to him and said with squinted eyes, Qin Nan, leave him to me. I have some tricks that I haven't used for a long time. Qin Nan nodded and backed away. What are you doing? The young man's heart skipped a beat. Soon after, screams, cries, and pleas for mercy rang out in the cave one after another. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor was a demon emperor after all. In terms of strength, he was no match for Qin Nan, but in terms of torture, Even 10 Qi Nan were no match against him. Cough cough. Cultivator 8 brilliance, that's enough. I believe this guy is going to behave himself. Yuanji could not stand it any longer. He stopped the young man. I haven't had enough yet. The 8 brilliance demon emperor reluctantly stopped. Meanwhile, the young man's face was extremely pale. His body was soaked in sweat. His eyes were filled with pain and fear, but there was also a hint of gratitude toward Yuanji. The monk was the only kind person among the group of cultivators. Let me see what good stuff this kid has on him. The 8 brilliance demon emperor grabbed the young man's storage bag and inspected it with his divine sense. Qi Nan's heart skipped a beat. The young man must have quite a lot of loot on him considering his extraordinary background. He might even have some frost souls and 6 unity immortal jade. Besides, it also reminded him that he could rob the young man if he wanted to acquire the frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades faster. It's not a good idea to rob him. But Qi Nan frowned. He was struggling to make up his mind. Holy crap, aren't you the grandson of the second patriarch of the tribe of immortal spirits? Why isn't there a single frost soul or 6 unity immortal jade in your storage bag apart from a few talismans and artifacts? The 8 brilliance demon emperor's face darkened. What? Yuanji's face darkened too. 8 brilliance, what are you waiting for? Keep going. In the end, he was a pauper. The young man's expression changed greatly, and he was about to cry. Weren't monks supposed to be compassionate? Why was this monk acting like a bandit? You can't blame me for this. The young man quickly explained. We've come to the outer area of the 6 unity forbidden land to look for the frost souls and the 6 unity immortal jades. We've already handed everything we found to the elders. The 8 brilliance demon emperor raised his brows. His eyes emitted a faint green flicker as he said, "Oh? Kid, tell me honestly, how many frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades have your people found?" Qi Nan, Yuanji, and the others pricked up their ears. The young man was not stupid. He immediately realized what the man was implying. He said helplessly, "Everyone, don't even think about robbing them. We have 2 peerless rulers here in the 6 unity forbidden land. There's a 9 heavens supreme outside the 6 unity forbidden land." The 8 brilliance demon emperor was left speechless. To think that the tribe of immortal spirits would send out such a terrifying group of people. He would not dare to rob them even if he was given 10 gut. That being said, you can use me to trade for a lot of frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades. The young man's eyes glittered. Humph. The 8 brilliance demon emperor said disdainfully, "Kid, you better stop being so petty. Aren't we walking right into a trap if we use you to trade? What's this scroll?" He had found a purple jade slip among the pile of treasures in the bag of holding. The young man had no choice but to tell the truth after his dream was shattered. There's a map on the scroll. It's the location of a vein of frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades that we discovered a few hours ago. However, they are only half finished. They aren't even mature yet. The eyes of Qi Nan and the others flickered with disappointment. Another half-finished vein. Forget it, let's not waste any more time. Let's check out the other 2 places. Qi Nan said in a deep voice. They had no choice but to rely on their luck. You were the one who provoked us first. Don't you dare say that I'm bullying you. If you can't come up with anything that can compensate us for our loss, I won't let you go. The 8 brilliance demon emperor chuckled coldly. The young man and his disciples were on the verge of collapsing upon hearing the words. They were the unlucky ones, yet they were being asked to compensate them? Well, seniors, I can use the sacred spiritual seal. It will only take me 10 days, no, if we work together, it'll only take us 5 days to turn the half-finished frost souls into mature ones. What do you think? The young man said with a hopeful look as a thought crossed his mind. He just wanted to get rid of them as soon as possible. What if the demon emperor was in a bad mood and decided to vent his anger on them? He did not want to experience those terrifying methods again for the rest of his life. 5 days? The rare phenomena are about to happen. Who has the time to wait for you? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor rolled his eyes. Wait, what did you just say? Sacred spiritual seal? Qin Nan's heart skipped a beat. That's right. Our tribe of immortal spirits is a strange ancient tribe that was nurtured by nature. We were born with the flesh of earth spirit. As our cultivation grows stronger, we can evolve into the flesh of sky spirits, flesh of sacred spirits, flesh of emperor spirits, flesh of immortal spirits, and flesh of ancestor spirits. Each level of our flesh corresponds to a seal, such as the earth spirit seal, heaven spirit seal, sacred spirit seal, and so on. By using these seals, we can attract the force of the heavens and earth to nurture the resources faster. The young man explained. After all, it was not a secret in the second small immortal realm. I almost forgot about that. Qin Nan was overjoyed. He had learned a primary spiritual seal when he obtained the fire seed of the Tao-melting immortal flames in the supreme cave abode of Rodeo. The seal was similar to the Heaven Spirit Seal and the Sacred Spirit Seal. In addition to it, the primary spiritual seal was a lot stronger than the Heaven Spirit Seal, Sacred Spirit Seal, and the others. After all, the mysterious expert who left the fire seed of the Tao-melting immortal flames and the others had warned him not to use the primary spiritual seal in front of the tribe of immortal spirits before he achieved the 9 heavens supreme realm. Otherwise, he would be in great trouble. Qin Nan, what did you forget? Do you have a plan? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor asked. Qin Nan calmed his thoughts and said, Bring these people out first, I'll try it first. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Ung, and the others were curious, but they did not ask further. The young man and the disciples were utterly confused. The man was not even a member of the tribe of immortal spirits. What could he possibly do to the resources? Qin Nan flicked his finger to set up a formation at the entrance of the cave as a safety precaution. He took a deep breath and began to perform a hand seal. He was feeling a little nervous too. Chapter 1788. The Immortal Jade Vein. Chapter 1698. Inside the cave, the Immortal Jade Vein, the seal, was soon completed. Wisps of mystical glow poured down on the frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades on the walls like raindrops. In an instant, a shocking scene appeared. Each of the frost souls and the 6 unity immortal jades seemed to have gained their own consciousness. They unleashed a shocking absorption force to absorb the energy from the 6 unity immortal jade. The entire cave was swept up by gusts of strong wind. Qin Nan had no idea what it meant. He was still feeling uneasy. However, in less than 1,000 breaths, each frost soul and 6 unity immortal jade buzzed and emitted a glow that was 10 times brighter than before. Their will was 100 times stronger too. He immediately came to a realization. As expected of the primary spiritual seal, it's extraordinary indeed. The 11 of them needed 5 days to execute the sacred spiritual seal, but it only took me less than 900 breaths to execute it. Qin Nan was overjoyed. Most importantly, he no longer had to worry about the half-completed immortal jade. Qin Nan soon calmed his thoughts. He executed the primary spiritual seal again, summoning a giant hand of qi to take the frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades away. Qin Nan, how did it go? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others asked. Qin Nan transmitted his voice to them. They were overjoyed. The young man and the rest of the cultivators were even more confused. What was going on? Why were the bandits so happy? Qin Nan asked the 11 cultivators to swear an immortal demon oath to not tell anyone about it. He took away the badges that could transmit divine sense from them and set up a few formations to trap them before leaving the place. We'll split into 2 groups. You guys will head to Meng Jiugong's map, and I'll head to the location on the scroll. Qin Nan's eyes glittered. There was an ore vein there. A single ore vein would contain at least 5,000 frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades. All right, then we'll meet here tomorrow at noon. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others nodded and flew ahead. Qin Nan glanced at the map. A few moments later, he left too. The location of the mine discovered by the young man was not particularly far from the cave. After spending 4 hours, Qin Nan had already arrived. In front of Qin Nan was a majestic and ancient mountain that towered into the clouds. An ancient tree that seemed to be carved from ancient jade grew on the mountain. Under the illumination of the sun, it glowed with countless sparkling lights. Those fellows are quite cautious. They even set up quite a few restrictions here. Qin Nan flew to the waist of the mountain and scanned his surroundings. His lips curled upward as the flames in his eyes grew stronger. An invisible eye technique burst out from his eyes. Bang, bang, bang. A series of explosions took place. Dozens of formations were instantly shattered into pieces. The towering trees in front of Qin Nan suddenly disappeared. They were replaced by a cave over 100 zhang wide. With a flicker, Qin Nan's figure disappeared into the cave. The sound of water dripping continuously echoed in his ears. As he approached the inner part of the cave, he could feel a strong gust of wind coming from it. Beasts. After arriving deep inside the cave, Qin Nan saw 5 ferocious-looking enormous creatures lying on the ground in deep slumber. The strong gusts of wind in the cave were caused by their breaths too. No wonder those guys have given up on this place. It turns out that there are 4 ninth-layer Earth Immortal Realm beasts and 1 peak Earth Immortal Realm beast guarding this place, Qin Nan murmured. He lifted his gaze. His eyes flickered with astonishment even though he was mentally prepared. The spacious walls were covered in ice crystals and black jades. They were glowing like stars in the sky. The number of frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades here was more than 10,000. It was 100 times more than the cave. At this moment, the 5 great demons had already been jolted awake. A wisp of anger surged out from their pair of bell-like demon eyes. How dare this blood-haired human ignore them? As their beastly auras rose and were about to tear the human into pieces, the human's right arm suddenly broke into pieces. It turned into a saber and stuck into the ground. The temperature in the cave dropped rapidly. When the 5 great demons saw this, their pupils violently shrank. After a moment of hesitation, they let out a low whimper, turned around, and disappeared without a trace. They were not as stupid as the young man and his crew. They sharply sensed the young man's terrifying strength. They were going to die if the young man attacked them. Primary Spiritual Seal. Qin Nan did not waste any time. He swiftly performed a hand seal and fired wisps of mystical energy into the walls. Strong gusts of wind immediately filled the cave. Time gradually passed. It took around 2 hours for the frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades to fully mature. Qin Nan put them all into his storage bag. I wonder if I can buy the supreme heart fruit with just over 10,000 frost souls. It's all Meng Jiugong's fault for showing up all of a sudden. Otherwise, I would have to ask Immortal Emperor Gulin how many supreme heart fruits I need, Qin Nan murmured. He had no choice but to try his best to find the frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades. As Qin Nan was about to leave, he suddenly caught a glimpse of an unusual force from the corner of his eyes. With a flicker, Qin Nan immediately went to the corner of the wall on the left and took a closer look. On the uneven walls of the mountain, there were a few faint runes, which formed the outline of a formation. The formation was not emitting any aura. It was well hidden too. Qin Nan would not have noticed it if it was not a coincidence. This formation doesn't seem to be man-made. It must have been nurtured by the heavens and earth. Qin Nan was intrigued. He unleashed his eye technique to inspect the formation. A few moments later, he discovered the weakness of the formation. He immediately fired a wisp of immortal force at it. Whoosh! The entire formation began to glow. Following this, with the formation as the center, the walls within 3 zhang of it began to crack open, revealing a huge hole. Wisps of strange auras were coming out of the hole. There's actually another world behind this cliff? Qin Nan was astounded. Let's take a look. Chapter 1789. 4 Laws and 8 Statues. However, after taking a few steps, Qin Nan's expression straightened. The pressure that was unique to the 6 Unity Forbidden Land was significantly stronger in this place. His cultivation was now suppressed to the first layer Earth Immortal Realm. Is that? Qin Nan's eyes widened. Even with his wisdom, his eyes were filled with astonishment. Not far in front of them, there was an ancient wooden palace. In each of the 4 cardinal directions of the palace, there was a strange ancient tree that was about 70 feet tall and was carved from some kind of large ice crystal. Countless branches and leaves spread out in all directions. At the center of the hall, there were 8 human-shaped statues carved from some kind of black jade. They stood there quietly, and their actions were the same. However, their expressions were different, and they were filled with joy, anger, sorrow, and joy. Normally, a scene like this would not attract Qin Nan's attention, but the ancient tree statues and the human-shaped statues were clearly made of frost souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades. Besides, Qin Nan could clearly sense their will. Even though the will of the ancient tree statues and the human-shaped jade statues was nowhere comparable to the will of the frost souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades, their will greatly surpassed the will of the 6 Unity Immortal Jades. It was like comparing 10,000 low-grade spiritual stones to 1 God rock. What exactly are these things for? Are they man-made? Or are they nurtured by the heavens and earth? Qin Nan quickly collected his thoughts. He began to inspect them cautiously instead of showing a hint of excitement. Some of the fortunate encounters in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land might appear to be extremely beneficial on the surface, but in reality, they could very well turn out to be deadly traps. There's no point looking at them, they must be nurtured by the heavens and earth. Even a 9 Heavens Supreme wouldn't be able to alter the shapes of the frost souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades with brute force. Doom, who had been silent all this while, suddenly said, "Nurtured by the heavens and earth?" Qin Nan's eyes glittered. If the frost souls were nurtured by the heavens and earth, there must be a great secret behind it. It was either a great fortunate encounter or a great danger. Screw it, I'll just take them first. In just a few breaths, Qin Nan made up his mind. He had no idea how many frost souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades he would need to purchase the Supreme Heart Fruit, thus he decided to take as much as he could as a safety precaution. Qin Nan immediately made his move. 12 spirit chi giant hands appeared and grabbed the statue and the ancient tree. At the same time, he flew away at an astonishing speed. Huh? There's no reaction? Qin Nan glanced at the silent cave and was slightly confused. He came to a stop and waited patiently. He shook his head when he still did not receive any response. He proceeded to look for the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others. However, what he didn't know was that after he left, the ancient wooden hall in the cave began to shatter inch by inch. In the end, it turned into a wisp of black gas that drilled into the depths of the entire mountain. Time trickled by. At noon on the second day, Qin Nan and the others had already visited the other 2 locations that Meng Jiugong mentioned on the scroll. One of them was empty, as someone had already taken it away. The other location had over 300 frost souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jade. Qin Nan and the others discussed among themselves. They decided to let the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others wait here, while Qin Nan went to the 2 ancient cities on his own to look for Immortal Emperor Gulin. After all, the factions must have left quite a number of cultivators outside. If too many people went there, they would surely be discovered. It would be a great danger. Luckily, the rare phenomena are approaching. There are quite a lot of cultivators coming and going on the Feyue Immortal Bridge. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to sneak into the ancient cities safely. Qin Nan soon arrived at the end of the Feyue Immortal Bridge. He looked at the cultivators coming and going. He withdrew his black robe and executed the Dao execution gate's art of Dao seeking, the Dao execution ceremony. He flew forward with a murderous aura. Meanwhile, outside the Six Unity Forbidden Land, outside the cave that Qin Nan and the others first visited, a few formations were destroyed following a series of explosions. The young man that Qin Nan had subdued and the 10 cultivators immediately regained their freedom. Sister, the young man had an average temperament to begin with. His heart was filled with grievances after being tortured by the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor. His eyes were brimming with tears when he saw the person closest to him. In front of the young man was a woman in a white outfit. The woman was slightly taller than the young man. Her eyebrows were thin like willows and her skin was whiter than snow. Her pair of beautiful light blue eyes were calm and emotionless. On her smooth forehead, there was a faintly discernible, immortal character. Her long black hair was tied up with an icy blue jade hairpin. She had 3 ancient jade pendants of different sizes on her waist. She was dressed like a handsome man in a white outfit, yet everyone could sense her otherworldly temperament. Lu Xiaoming, you're the grandson of the 2nd patriarch of the tribe of Immortal Spirit. You should stay strong. The woman frowned. However, she let out a sigh when she saw the young man's reaction. She said, I'll avenge you once I find the person you're looking for. Lu Xiaoming was overjoyed. Thank you, sister, you love me the most. There were a few other heaven immortals of the tribe of immortal spirits standing beside the woman in white. They shrugged when they saw the scene. The famous peerless genius of the tribe of immortal spirits was almost perfect. There was nothing to be picky about, but the only thing she loved about Lu Xiaoming was Lu Xiaoming. By the way, sister, give me a second. Lu Xiaoming suddenly thought of something. He quickly flew into the cave to take a look. However, with a single glance, a look of astonishment immediately appeared on his face. The 10 cultivators quickly followed Lu Xiaoming's gaze as a thought crossed their minds too. Their expressions were the same as Lu Xiaoming's. They clearly remembered that the young man with blood-red hair had only stayed in the cave for a few thousand breaths. How did the half-finished products disappear all of a sudden? Could it be that the young man with blood-red hair had successfully refined the half-finished frost souls and 6 unity, immortal jades in just a few thousand breaths? No way. That's impossible. Even sister wouldn't be able to do it in just 2,000 breaths. Which means those people must have taken the half-finished products. Lu Xiaoming quickly shook his head to deny it. Even though he knew something was not right, he was unwilling to admit it. What's going on? The woman asked. Lu Xiaoming was about to say something when he recalled something. His face was filled with helplessness. An immortal demon oath? Chapter 1790. There must be the Frost Soul and the 6 Unity Immortal Jades inside the cave. However, why would they be so shocked and then look at me in disbelief? It's very likely that they're half-completed Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jade. However, the culprit is not from the tribe of immortal spirits, yet he managed to mature them. The woman in a white outfit murmured. She recalled that Lu Xiaoming had just told her that he had found an ore vein that contained more than 10,000 half-completed Frost Souls and the 6 Unity Immortal Jade. Furthermore, she had just checked that Lu Xiaoming's storage bag was missing, which meant that the jade scroll with the location of the ore vein was missing too. Come with me, she said calmly. She turned into a ray of light and flew ahead. Lu Xiaoming and the others were confused, but they had no choice but to follow her. Not long after, they arrived at the location of the mineral vein. Lu Xiaoming immediately went inside and took a look. The frost souls and the 6 unity immortal jades were all gone. Asshole! Lu Xiaoming was infuriated. Those people were too shameless. They even took the half-completed frost souls and the 6 unity immortal jade. Didn't they know it was meaningless to take the half-completed frost souls away? It has only been less than 30 hours since Lu Xiaoming found the ore vein. It would take the culprit at least 3 hours to find Lu Xiaoming and come here. The cave and the ore vein are half-completed frost souls. They won't make much of a difference if they take them away. Do you think the culprit is interested in them? The woman's eyes flickered coldly. Even though it was only her speculation, she was confident that the culprit had only taken the half-completed frost souls and the 6 unity immortal jades away. The culprit had refined the frost souls and the 6 unity immortal jades in just 27 hours, not including the time it took the culprit to leave. Even if it was her, it would be very difficult for her to achieve this. The culprit must have mastered the immortal spirit seal or something even stronger. If the culprit was from the tribe of immortal spirits, who could it be? Most importantly, the culprit isn't from the tribe of immortal spirits. The woman in a white outfit murmured, "It seems like I'll have to ask the Supreme Elder to remove the immortal demon oath on Lu Xiaoming." As soon as she made up her mind, she transmitted a thought. Although all her guesses could be wrong, she was like this. As long as she thought it was right, she would do it, no matter what the final result was. At that moment in the ancient city, as soon as Qin Nan walked into the street, he heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he was not discovered just now. Otherwise, he would be in big trouble. A great change is about to happen. There are more and more experts in the city. Qin Nan looked at the bustling streets and sensed the powerful auras in the city. There were even a few terrifying auras that made him feel apprehensive. The flames in his eyes flickered as he walked forward. "I heard that Zhu Yan and Gu Xiaoyao fought, and Gu Xiaoyao won in the end? Win my ass." Zhu Yan was infuriated. He was about to use some forbidden technique, but the 9 heavens supreme of the Nongyan tribe came and took him away. Sigh, what a pity. It's rare to see such a great battle between exceptional geniuses. What's there to pity? In the end, the 9 Palaces Golden Immortal Sect decided that Gu Xiaoyao was the one who gave birth, and I earned 3 frost souls, haha. There were lots of discussions going on in the surroundings. Most of them were talking about Zhu Yan and Gu Xiaoyao, while the rest were talking about the conflicts between factions that resulted in the deaths of a few heaven immortals. As for Qin Nan and Yuanji, and the fact that they were being chased by a few factions, they had long calmed down. After all, the strongest immortal whose Dao foundation had been destroyed was not going to attract their attention. Qin Nan was not in the mood to care about it. He continued to weave through the crowd. He let out a relieved sigh when he saw Immortal Emperor Gulin sitting with his legs crossed and setting up a stall. Immortal Emperor Gulin was still here. Besides, the Supreme Heart Fruit was still there too. "Senior, may I know how many Frost Souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades are required to trade for the Supreme Heart Fruit?" Qin Nan asked softly. "It's you." Immortal Emperor Gulin raised his head. His eyes flickered with astonishment, but it was only astonishment. He said calmly, "There's no specific price as long as I'm satisfied with it." Satisfied with it? Qin Nan frowned. The words were too fake. Even if he offered more Frost Souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades, the man could still say that he was not satisfied with it. "Senior, may I know if 5,000 is enough?" Qin Nan probed after a slight hesitation. 5,000 Frost Souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades? How generous! He must have stumbled into an ore vein. The eyes of the surrounding cultivators flashed with astonishment when they heard this. 5,000 Frost Souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades were indeed not a small sum. Immortal Emperor Gulin did not even raise his head. He was still drinking the wine from the gourd. His intention was obvious. "Senior, how about 10,000? Qin Nan doubled the price after a slight ponder. 10,000? The eyes of the cultivators widened with astonishment. Meanwhile, some of the cultivators were looking at Qin Nan with a strange look too. In a place like the 6 Unity Forbidden Land, 10,000 frost souls and 6 Unity immortal jades were more than enough to trade for a Dao weapon. It was possible to trade for immortal blessing sacred healing herbs. Hee, that's an immortal blessing supreme heart fruit. Do you really think you can get it with just 10,000? At that instant, a cold voice appeared behind Qin Nan. Is that the supreme heart fruit? Holy crap, I've been here for 3 days, but I didn't notice it at all. That's an immortal blessing supreme heart fruit. I didn't think immortal Emperor Gulin would be willing to sell it. TSK, 10,000 frost souls is nowhere enough to buy such a precious treasure. The surrounding cultivators could not help but exclaim in surprise. Qin Nan turned around and saw a skinny old man with thinly spread hair and a face covered in black spots. The old man was followed by 2 cultivators in black robes. A peerless ruler? Even though the old man was not unleashing any aura and looked extremely weak, Qin Nan immediately sensed the terrifying power inside his body. Qin Nan's heart sank slightly. Did this peerless ruler have his eyes on the supreme heart fruit too? Chapter 1791. The crowd exclaimed, "I'll be taking both the supreme heart fruit and the emerald camel dragon flower." The skinny old man ignored Qin Nan's gaze. He looked at immortal Emperor Gulin and said with a smile, "I'll be frank with you. It's 180,000 pieces, what do you think?" As soon as these words were spoken, the hearts of the surrounding cultivators trembled violently. Many cultivators sucked in cold breath. That was a total of 180,000 frost souls and 6 Unity immortal jades. In terms of Dao weapons, it was enough to trade for 18 of them. Immortal Emperor Gulin did not say a word, but he had stopped drinking. Clearly, such a huge amount of wealth had moved his heart. Qin Nan frowned as he collected his thoughts. He said, "Senior, even though immortal Emperor Gulin isn't following any rules, shouldn't he follow the order of first come first serve?" How bold! The eyes of the 2 cultivators in black robes beside the skinny old man immediately turned cold. They snapped. "A mere earth immortal dares to speak to our ancestor like that? Piss off." They unleashed their auras of peak heaven immortals after finishing the sentence. The skinny old man ignored Qin Nan as if he did not hear anything. He did not even bother looking at him. The cultivators nearby shook their heads. In their eyes, the cultivator in black robes who was only in the earth immortal realm was too bold. If he stumbled into an immortal emperor with a strange temper, he might be dead by now. "Asking my friend to piss off, you 2 are quite hot-tempered." Before Qin Nan could speak, a cold voice said. A young man accompanied by a few heaven immortals came up to them. He was none other than Meng Jiugong. Qin Nan was slightly surprised, but on second thought, he immediately came to a realization. The man was here for the supreme heart fruit. He would surely come back after acquiring the frost souls and 6 Unity immortal jade. However, why would he come all the way here? Meng Jiugong seemed to be aware of Qin Nan's doubts. He transmitted his voice. "I've finally found you, so I'm here to have a duel with you. I didn't expect that you would cause endless trouble wherever you go." He suddenly thought of something, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. "However, this is normal. After all, you have the physique of misfortune, which is completely different from my physique of good luck." Qin Nan was left speechless, but he was too lazy to explain. Besides, Meng Jiugong had helped him a little previously. Now that Meng Jiugong had stepped forward, he was helping him too. Putting aside the misunderstanding between the 2 of them, Meng Jiugong was indeed not bad. So it's young Palace Master Meng. Earlier their attitude wasn't good, so I hope young Sect Master doesn't blame them. The skinny old man finally turned around with a smile on his face. However, under the wrinkles and black spots on his face, the smile still looked a little creepy. Bone Devil Ancestor is too polite. It's just that this friend of mine also wants to buy the Supreme Heart Fruit. I wonder if Ancestor is willing to let this friend participate? Let's not talk about first come, first serve. At the very least, the highest bidder wins. Meng Jiugong smiled faintly. This old man is Bone Devil Ancestor? Qin Nan's eyes flickered with astonishment. When he first came to the Shangxingtian's small immortal realm, the first peerless genius he killed was called the Underworld Prince. The man's master seemed to be this Bone Devil Ancestor. Of course, the highest bidder wins. However, your friend shouldn't be thinking that he can buy the Supreme Heart Fruit with just 10 or 20,000 primordial crystals. The smile on Bone Devil Ancestor's face remained the same. The cultivators nearby could not help but chuckle when they heard the mocking tone in his voice. Qin Nan, how many pieces do you have? Do you want me to lend you some? Meng Jiugong immediately transmitted his voice. He was feeling a little embarrassed. Thanks, but I won't need it for now. I still have something to show you. Qin Nan waved his hand to reject the offer. He ignored Bone Devil Ancestor and said to Immortal Emperor Gulin, Senior, I have some things here that are made of frost souls and 6 unity immortal jades, but I have no idea how valuable they are. I'll show them to you first. With a thought, he took out an ice crystal tree formed by the frost souls and a black human statue from his storage bag. They were emitting 2 different glows under the sunlight. 4 laws and 8 statues? Immortal Emperor Gulin, Bone Devil Ancestor, and Meng Jiugong's eyes widened. Holy crap! He actually got his hands on those things. What's wrong? What are the 4 laws and 8 statues? You might not know this, but the Frost Souls and 6 Unity Immortal Jades in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land will turn into 2 rare phenomena. They are called 2 in 3 and 4 Laws and 8 Statues. The so-called 4 Laws and 8 Statues refers to the 4 Frost Soul Trees and the 8 6 Unity Immortal Jade Men. Besides, no matter which of the 2 rare phenomena you find, you might be able to find some clues from them. It might even be a great fortunate encounter. That impressive? Isn't that kid a little too lucky? I don't think so. Normally, it's difficult to find a whole set of them. This Earth Immortal must have only found 2 of them. It's not easy to find 2 of them, the cultivators nearby exclaimed. Their eyes were full of envy as they looked at Qin Nan. Qin Nan was shocked too. He did not expect the things to be so valuable. I didn't expect you to find 1 of the laws and 1 statue of the 4 laws and 8 statues. Bone Devil Ancestor squinted and said, however, 1 of the laws and 1 statue is only worth 30,000 frost souls forbidden jades at most. It's still a lot less than my 180,000 frost souls forbidden jade. Immortal Emperor Gulin's eyes flickered with a hint of pity. He nodded and said, if you have the 3 laws and 3 statues, even if they aren't valuable enough, I'll still give you the Supreme Heart Fruit, but that's not enough. Qin Nan was overjoyed upon hearing this. He quickly said, Senior, you'll have to sell the Supreme Heart Fruit to me then. Immortal Emperor Gulin, Bone Devil Ancestor, Meng Jiugong, and the cultivators nearby were startled. Don't tell me you have the 3 laws and 3 statues. Immortal Emperor Gulin rose to his feet. I don't have the 3 laws and 3 statues. Qin Nan shook his head and said, however, I'm quite lucky this time. I've found the 4 laws and 8 statues. With a thought, he took out the remaining 3 laws and 7 statues from his storage bag. The moment the 4 laws and 8 statues gathered, under the sunlight, not only did they emit an icy glow and a black glow, but they also emitted a faint halo. A faintly discernible ancient aura blew through the entire street like a strong wind. What kind of aura is that? Chapter 1792. Willing to play until the end, 4 laws. 8 statues? Immortal Emperor Guline and the Bone Demon Immortal Emperor were dumbfounded. The cultivators nearby were dumbfounded too. They could not believe their eyes. Holy crap! Meng Jiugong could not help but curse. Did he have the flesh of bad luck or the flesh of good luck? How did he find such a precious treasure in less than 2 days? Holy crap, it's the 4 laws and 8 statues. At the same time, figures flew over one after another. When they saw the 4 laws and 8 statues, their faces were filled with astonishment. Who does the 4 laws and 8 statues belong to? I'm taking it. Whatever price you want, or if you have any requests, feel free to tell me. A burly middle-aged man with a towering aura descended from the sky. He looked around and yelled, unable to suppress the joy on his face. Humph, do you really think you can take such a precious treasure just like that? The highest bidder will get it. An old man in a red robe arrived with a cold expression. Another peerless ruler. Fellow cultivators, what are you implying? The young cultivator already said that he's willing to trade the 4 laws and 8 statues for my supreme heart fruit. Immortal Emperor Guline snapped as he collected his thoughts. Cultivator, you, the Bone Demon Immortal Emperor was startled. He had achieved the greater success stage of the peerless ruler realm. He was only a little away from reaching the peak. If he could acquire the supreme heart fruit and use the emerald camel dragon flower, he would be able to improve his cultivation further. I'm sorry, I can't sell you the supreme heart fruit. Cultivator, you can have the supreme heart fruit. Immortal Emperor Guline waved his hand and said to Qin Nan. His attitude was completely different from when he first met Qin Nan. However, before Qin Nan could speak, the bulky man blurted out, Cultivator, don't accept his offer. A supreme heart fruit is nowhere comparable to the 4 laws and 8 statues. Why don't I give you an immortal blessing grade treasure and 3 Dao artifacts? The old man in a red robe let out a hollow laugh. His eyes flickered with disdain. 3 Dao weapons? Aren't you being too petty? Kid, give me the 4 laws and 8 statues. Not only will I give you an immortal blessing resource and 3 Dao artifacts, but I'll also help you once. What do you think? The eyes of the surrounding cultivators became even more envious. 3 Dao weapons and the help of a peerless ruler. It was definitely a great deal. Seniors, thank you for your kind intentions, but I only want the supreme heart fruit. Qin Nan rejected the offer without hesitation and put the supreme heart fruit into his bag of holding. F***CK. My luck is really bad today. The burly man's face was full of displeasure, but there was nothing he could do. He could only turn around and leave. The red-robed old man glanced at Immortal Emperor Guline a few times, as if he was trying to remember his face. He then disappeared into thin air. All right. Immortal Emperor Guline was overjoyed. He reached his hand out and collected the 4 laws and 8 statues. He said after a slight ponder, these 4 laws and 8 statues are indeed a lot more valuable than the supreme heart fruit. Take this scroll. He tossed the scroll to Immortal Emperor Guline before waving his hand and putting the stall away. He then vanished into thin air. Qin Nan scanned the scroll with his divine sense and discovered a divine sense seal with the same aura as Immortal Emperor Guline's. Even though Immortal Emperor Guline did not say anything, his intention was quite obvious. Immortal Emperor Guline would most likely show up and lend him a hand if Qin Nan triggered the divine sense seal. Cultivator. Bone Demon Progenitor's voice suddenly appeared in Qin Nan's mind. The supreme heart fruit is very important to me. Why don't you sell it to me? Don't worry, you'll be satisfied with the price. Besides, I'll owe you a favor too. Qin Nan glanced at him and said calmly, "I'm sorry, I won't sell the supreme heart fruit no matter what price you offer." Bone Demon Progenitor's eyes flickered with a green flicker. His tone turned sinister. "Kid, don't think you're safe just because you're Meng Jiugong's friend. In the realm of chaos, even someone like Meng Jiugong would dare to kill him if they wanted to." The threat in his words was quite obvious. However, Qin Nan's expression remained the same. He said calmly, "Is that so? I'm more than willing to accompany you to the end regardless of the danger." After that, he exchanged glances with Meng Jiugong. The two of them nodded at the same time and flew out of the street. The appearance of the 4 laws and 8 statues had attracted many experts to the place. They could not afford to stay any longer. Otherwise, the people of the Emperor's ancient island and the 10,000-layer immortal pagoda would notice them. "How bold of you! A mere earth immortal dares to speak to me like that." Bone Demon Progenitor unleashed a murderous aura. His skinny hands immediately performed a mystical hand seal, summoning the pattern of a little demon on his palm. It was the first secret art he had learned. The pattern would heat up the next time he stumbled into someone. He had used the secret art to kill many experts who were good at disguising themselves. He also managed to avoid many dangerous enemies. Meanwhile, in a room of an inn built by the 9-Palace Golden Immortal Sect, Meng Jiugong immediately spoke as soon as Qin Nan and Meng Jiugong arrived. "Qin Nan, where did you find the 4 laws and 8 statues? Are you referring to the 3 locations on the scroll I gave you?" "Let me tell you, I'm part of it too." Qin Nan ignored him. He quickly pulled the red string of 3 lifetimes on his wrist and transmitted his thought. "Copper Mirror, I've found the rest of the resources. Can you bring the princess and the others back to life now?" There was only one last thing left, the corpse of a peerless ruler. The Copper Mirror did mention that she would prepare it for him. Besides, in Qin Nan's opinion, bringing someone back to life was something that defied the laws of nature. He was unsure if there would be any accidents if he was the only one doing it. However, it would not be a problem if the Copper Mirror was the one doing it. "I forgot to tell you, I've discovered some secrets. The better the corpse used for the art of reversal of yin and yang, the better the corpse, the more benefits it will bring to the person being resurrected. They were just ordinary people before they died. If you use the corpse of a peerless ruler to resurrect them, they will struggle to catch up to you. The gap between you two will only widen." A cold voice resounded in his mind. "You're saying we should use the corpse of a 9 Heavens Supreme?" Qin Nan wore a wry smile and said, "Even if I want to, I won't be able to kill a 9 Heavens Supreme with my current strength. I don't know how long I'll have to wait for my strength to grow. I really don't want to wait any longer." He lowered his voice in the end. "That won't be necessary. 9 Heavens Supremes are going to die when the 6 Unity Forbidden Land is going through a great change. You just need to go deeper with us," Empress Feiyue said coldly. Qin Nan was startled. That was right. Why didn't he think of that? Even though it would be extremely dangerous for him to go deeper with his current cultivation, it was still worth the risk since the corpse of a 9 Heavens Supreme was still there. Besides, even if there were no 9 Heavens Supremes that died, or he was unable to get his hands on the corpse of a peerless ruler that had died for 7 days, it should not be too difficult for him to get his hands on it. Besides, not only are there incredible fortunate encounters in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land, there's a great danger too. Even a 9 Heavens Supreme might die. Empress Feiyue paused for a moment before adding, "On top of that, bring Dao Ling with you. She should know a lot about the demon blood." Chapter 1793. The unexpected changes are coming. Qin Nan's heart was filled with warmth. It turned out that the Copper Mirror had already thought of everything for him. The The copper mirror was going to become the strongest 9 heavens supreme soon, yet she was willing to spend so much effort on it. She even agreed to lend him a hand in the end. Copper mirror, you have my thanks. Qin Nan took a deep breath and said sincerely, I'll grill a few immortal fish for you after I resurrect the princess and the others. He seriously had no idea how he could repay the copper mirror's kindness with his current cultivation. It's fine. You just owe me a favor. Empress Feiyue's voice turned even colder. What's going on? Qin Nan was astounded. Why did the copper mirror seem a little angry all of a sudden? Could it be that she no longer cared about the food? It's really hard to read a woman's mind. Qin Nan shook his head and stopped thinking about it. He looked at Meng Jiugong, who was still babbling, and asked, Do you know when the unexpected changes in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land are going to happen? According to the information we've received, something strange is happening deep inside the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. Many factions have already sent their people there. Meng Jiugong raised his brows and said, What is it? Are you interested in the unusual changes too? Qin Nan nodded. He transmitted his voice to Ling Lanlan and said with a smile as a thought crossed his mind, Should we work together? Many factions were involved in the unusual changes, including many 9 heavens supremes. If they could work together with Meng Jiugong, it would be a lot easier for them to venture deeper. Our 9-palace golden immortal sect has never been involved in these kinds of things. Meng Jiugong shook his head, but his eyes flickered. Qin Nan shrugged. He did not say anything further. He sat with his legs crossed and waited patiently. Meng Jiugong initially wanted to take the opportunity to have a duel with Qin Nan, but he had no choice but to leave with a dark face after something happened. Ling Lanlan soon arrived. She let out a sigh after learning what Qin Nan was thinking. She did not try to persuade him any further. What could she do if a person insisted on seeking his own death? Time gradually passed. 8 hours later, an unexpected change finally took place in the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. A fiery light soared into the sky from the end of the mysterious land where the Feiyue Immortal Bridge was. It dyed the sky within a few 10,000 li red. In addition to that, rare phenomena such as ancient Buddhas, mysterious figures of immortals, enormous demon statues, etc. were taking place too. The extermination Yellow River that surrounded the 6 Unity Forbidden Land began to transform into enormous dragons, as if it had received some kind of stimulation. The cultivators in the ancient city began to tremble in fear. Qin Nan and Ling Lanlan came out when they heard that. At this moment, the entire ancient city was in an uproar. All sorts of voices resounded. It was Ling Lanlan's first time witnessing such a grand occasion. Her pretty face flushed red. Bang bang bang! 6 figures suddenly sprang out from the 2 ancient cities. Each of them unleashed a terrifying aura and turned into brilliant immortal rays. They flew across the Feiyue Immortal Bridge at an unbelievable pace and entered the ancient city. The 9 Heavens Supremes are here. 6 9 Heavens Supremes. What exactly is going to happen in the ancient city? Who told you there are only 6 of them? From what I know, there are more than 10 9 Heavens Supremes here, or even more. Countless cultivators exclaimed in astonishment. For some of the cultivators, the 9 Heavens Supreme Realm was the highest cultivation level in the 9 Heavens Immortal Realm. Soon after, majestic auras were emitted from the 2 ancient cities one after another, causing the entire ancient city to shake continuously. Streak after streak of majestic immortal light flew out from the city with astonishing speed, entering forward, covering heaven and earth innumerable, the scene magnificent. Immortal eyes of the divine god of battle activate. Qin Nan's eyes were engulfed in white flames. He saw many familiar figures with his outstanding eye technique, such as Immortal Emperor Jiangjue, Immortal Emperor Zhugang, Immortal Emperor Guqing, the Bone Demon Progenitor, and many others. It's the people of the Nongyan tribe, Wengu tribe, Wuyi tribe, Kongtong tribe and Chimu tribe. The Emperor's ancient island, 10,000-layer immortal pagoda, extreme living gate, ancient Bodhi temple, and Tao execution gate have all sent people here. 7 ancient tribes among the 100 primordial tribes alone have shown up. Including those that have yet to show up and those that are on their way, how many factions are going to take part in the ancient city? All kinds of astounded voices took place. Even Qin Nan's blood began to boil slightly. The ancient city was different than the tide of ascension. Both the experts and the geniuses had all shown up. In addition to it, it was Qin Nan's first time taking part in such a grand occasion since he came to the 9 heavens immortal realm. It seems like the heaven-shattering saber won't be alone this time, Qin Nan murmured. His blood-red hair drifted despite the absence of wind. His right arm buzzed vigorously while emitting wisps of saber intent. This guy, Ling Lanlan twisted her lips, but her eyes were glittering too. The situation outside was indeed fascinating. Perhaps she would be able to find some fortunate encounters to help her achieve a breakthrough. Dang dang dang, dong dong dong. Meanwhile, a strange noise echoed between the heavens and earth. A group of strange people suddenly appeared among the immortal rays heading toward the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. They were wearing robes with blood-red runes. Each of them was holding a wooden stick in their right hand. Some of them had copper bells on them, while others had copper drums the size of a palm hanging on them. They kept making noises as they moved forward. It's the heaven-repelling ancient sect. What? The people of the heaven-repelling ancient sect are here too? Who would have thought that even the most mysterious Supreme Taoism faction would be attracted by this rare phenomenon? It seems like we have no choice but to go inside. Some of the heaven immortals blurted out. The heaven-repelling ancient sect? Qin Nan's eyes flickered with astonishment. Even though he was not very knowledgeable, he knew the people of the heaven-repelling ancient sect rarely showed up in the 9 heavens immortal realm. Besides, he only needed the arts of Tao seeking of the heaven-repelling ancient sect and the 9 palace golden immortal sect to collect the arts of Tao seeking of the 13 supreme Taoism factions. Let's go inside too, Qin Nan said. He brought Ling Lanlan and flew into the distance. The place was extremely chaotic and grand. Immortal Emperor Jiangjue and the others had entered the place too. They no longer had to worry about being hunted down. However, little did Qin Nan know, a glamorous woman was standing at the top of a palace in an ancient city. Her robe was drifting in the wind. Her eyes were staring at the immortal rays without any reaction. Her lips curled upward when she saw Qin Nan's back. Chapter 1794. The flowers that had disappeared. A moment later, the outermost part of the 6 Unity Forbidden Land, unlike the desolation from before, cultivators could be seen everywhere. There were human immortals, heaven immortals, and even peerless rulers at times. That being said, apart from the human immortals, cultivators above the earth immortal realm did not stay in the outermost part of the Forbidden Land. They quickly headed deeper into the Forbidden Land. The rare phenomenon had taken place deep inside the 6 Unity Forbidden Land. Even though it was impossible for them to take part in the competition deep inside the Forbidden Land with their cultivation, they at least had to go to the middle area. One had to know that the amount of inheritances and opportunities contained in this central zone was innumerable. Qin Nan and Ling Lanlan quickly went to where the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others were after they entered the Forbidden Land. Qin Nan, you're finally here. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes were filled with resentment. A few hours ago, when the rare phenomenon took place, the terrifying intent surging from the distance gave them a great fright, yet they could only clench their teeth and endure it since they could not leave. I'm sorry, there's a change of plans. I'm planning to go deeper into the Forbidden Land, Qin Nan said. They initially planned to return to the land of extraordinaries after claiming the supreme heart fruit. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others would continue to communicate with the artifacts, while Qin Nan would resurrect Princess Miao Miao and the others. Qin Nan, that's enough, we're brothers. If you're going deeper into the Forbidden Land, I have to go too, Yuanji said solemnly. Yuanji said seriously. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others immediately cast disdainful looks at him. The bald donkey was seriously putting on an act. He was only acting fearlessly because a 9 Heavens Supreme of the ancient Bodhi Temple had gone deeper into the 6 Unity Forbidden Land to protect him. We'll see. Let's go to the middle area first. Blood Eye did not object, but the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and Xiao Shunliang were not so sure. Even though there might be some incredible fortunate encounters deep inside the Forbidden Land, it was still too dangerous. Even a peerless ruler would struggle to protect himself. Even a 9 Heavens Supreme was at risk of dying. Sure. Qin Nan nodded. His figure flashed and disappeared in front. Even though they had teamed up and were doing pretty well along the way, everyone's situation was different. If they were forced to stick together, the end result might not be good. Time flew by and 2 hours passed very quickly. In the 6 Unity Forbidden Land, there was no clear distinction between the middle zone and the inner zone. However, as Qin Nan and the others moved forward, they keenly sensed that they should have reached the middle section. This was because the formless energy unique to this land was becoming stronger and stronger. Their divine sense was completely suppressed, and they could only use their eyes to observe the situation around them. It was a good thing for them. After all, experts like the 9 Heavens Supremes and peerless rulers could easily detect them with their divine sense. The only downside was that the 6 Unity Forbidden Land was filled with deadly traps and forbidding auras. If they were careless and accidentally triggered some terrifying presence, they would be severely injured or even killed. A second great change is about to take place in the depths of this place. Doom's calm voice echoed in their minds all of a sudden. A second great change? Qin Nan and the others were startled. They subconsciously lifted their gaze. Countless golden runes suddenly surged out from the fiery red in the distance. They swept across the sky at lightning speed and floated motionlessly in the air. They look like Buddhist runes, Yuanji said. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyelids jumped. He flicked his finger and fired a demonic aura. An eerie sight took place. When the demonic aura approached the runes, a great force burst out of it and shattered it into pieces. Holy crap! What the hell is going on? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor felt a chill down his spine. He said, "These runes have sealed off the sky. I'm afraid we will be killed if we try to fly over there." Xiao Shunliang and Blood Eye looked at the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor disdainfully. The former said disdainfully, "Are you seriously a demon emperor? Why don't you just seal off the sky? The 6 Unity Forbidden Land is surrounded by the exterminating Yellow River. You will be killed if you try to escape from the sky." "Ugh, you're right, kid. How dare you teach me a lesson?" Qin Nan and the others soon calmed down. They continued on their journey. They encountered many traps and forbidding auras along the way, but they were not too terrifying. They easily nullified them. They also found some natural resources and ancient artifacts. That being said, it was inevitable that they would stumble into some cultivators. Many cultivators knew Qin Nan and the others were not to be trifled with, so they avoided them. However, the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor still ended up robbing everything they found. Yuanji had also robbed a few cultivators. Even Ling Lanlan, who was disdainful at first, was eager to try her luck. In their words, the only way to become rich was to rob others. Is that, all of a sudden, their footsteps paused at the same time. He could see 5 formidable immortal rays soaring into the sky in the distance. 3 of the immortal rays had transformed into rare phenomena. They were the heavenly maidens scattering flowers, the ancient tree rising into the sky, and the wind and rain dancing together. It was obvious that 5 successions had appeared. Furthermore, judging from the immortal glow, the 5 successions were no ordinary fortunate encounters. I've finally found one. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor rubbed his hands excitedly. He said to Qin Nan, "What do you think? Shall we go together? You're now in the peak Earth Immortal Realm, just a step away from achieving the Heaven Immortal Realm." He added after a slight pause, "If you successfully achieve the Heaven Immortal Realm, you might be able to resolve any danger you stumble into." Countless cultivators had gathered in the forbidden area. Apart from the peerless rulers and 9 Heaven Supremes, there were plenty of Heaven Immortals too. If Qin Nan and Yuanji were not around, the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor doubted that they would not even find any successions even if they made their way to the forbidden area. "That's reasonable. Where should we go?" Qin Nan nodded after a slight ponder. The journey to the forbidden area had only just begun. He still had no time to loot the corpses. "In my opinion, the rare phenomenon of the heavenly maiden scattering flowers must be the most extraordinary," the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor said. "8 Brilliance, you're being too unreliable. Let me choose." Yuanji waved his hand and interrupted. He wore a smug look. "I've practiced a Buddhist art of karma. I can predict where we're going. It's better for us." Chapter 1795. Lu Qingyin, Qin Nan, and the others watched with great interest. Everyone knew that the Buddhism school of karma emphasized a lot, but it was their first time learning that the art of karma could be used to predict the future. Ask for karma, and you will reap what you sow. Everything in the world, no matter how it evolves, can't escape from karma. "Come out," Yuanji murmured. He pointed his finger at the center of the mirror. The mirror shuddered slightly before 2 ancient words floated out of it. "Southeast." Qin Nan and the others scanned their surroundings. The rare phenomenon of the wind and rain was right at the end of the southeast. "Bald donkey, is your spell reliable or not?" The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes were filled with doubts. "Of course it is. We will surely find something if we head to the southeast." Yuanji rolled his eyes. He was actually feeling a little uneasy. This was the first time he had used this spell ever since the old man had taught him this spell, so he wasn't sure of its real effect. "Let's not waste any more time, let's head over," Qin Nan said. The others nodded. They turned into rays of immortal light and flew toward the southeast. Time trickled by. Soon 2 hours had passed. Qin Nan and the others slowly came to a stop. Not far ahead of them was a huge pit over 100,000 zhang wide. Countless immortal rays were surging above it like a storm. They had arrived at the place where the successions were. Qin Nan and the others withdrew their auras. They went closer to the edge of the pit and poked their heads out. Their eyes flickered with astonishment after taking a glance. They saw ravines at the bottom of the pit. The will of many immortal arts lingered in the rift. They could see corpses that had yet to be eroded. It was obvious that a great battle had just taken place here. In addition to it, countless light dots were gathering from all directions. They slowly outlined the illusionary figure of a door over 15 zhang tall. There were over 80 cultivators on both sides of the door. Most of them were rogue cultivators. Their cultivation was around the peak Earth Immortal Realm or the Heaven Immortal Realm. It's Long Xianling and the others. Blood Eye stared at the black-robed men, his eyes suddenly turning cold. Even though his divine sense and blood-red eyes were suppressed, thus he was unable to sense his opponent's aura, it was different for Long Xianling. He could still recognize him even if he had turned into ashes. Long Xianling? Enemies are bound to meet on a narrow path. A cold light flashed in Qin Nan's eyes. At this moment, several figures suddenly flew out from a pitch-black cave at the bottom of the sinkhole. They were all dressed in white robes and had the words Saint, King, and Immortal on their foreheads. A member of the tribe of immortal spirits? Qin Nan and the others were slightly taken aback. The young man they met last time, who claimed to be the grandson of the second patriarch, was also in this group. Then, a woman in white walked out of the cave. Her appearance seemed to make the bottom of the sinkhole brighten up. The eyes of Qin Nan and the others flashed with amazement at the same time. This woman could be said to be devastatingly beautiful. This woman's cultivation, Qin Nan's eyes glittered. Just like him, the woman was also a peak earth immortal, but there was an ancient aura inside her body. Lu Qinin is getting prettier by the day. If I knew earlier, I would have invited her to have a good talk about Buddhism at night, Yuanji said with a pained expression. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others twisted their lip. They did not expect this Yuanji to be such a pervert. Lu Qinin? Who's she? Yuanji withdrew his gaze after hearing Qin Nan's question. He transmitted his voice. Lu Qinin is one of the exceptional geniuses of the tribe of immortal spirits. She has already awakened the flesh of immortal spirits at such a young age. Rumors say that her flesh is about to have another breakthrough. Don't underestimate her. An exceptional genius of the tribe of immortal spirits? 2 wisps of white flames burst out of Qin Nan's eyes. Yuanji, is this the place you predicted? The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor said while clenching his teeth. We've beaten up that kid from the tribe of immortal spirits. If the people of the tribe of immortal spirits stumble into us, they will surely treat us as their enemy. And that Long Xianling that Blood Eye mentioned. Xiao Shunliang twisted his lips and said, 8 Brilliance, are you scared already? Don't worry, just follow me and the tribe of immortal spirits and Long Xianling will only be ants to us. There's no need to be afraid of them. While they were arguing, Lu Qinin, who was at the bottom of the pit, suddenly spoke. Her voice echoed in the surroundings. Those above, there's no need to hide anymore. Come down. The cultivators at the bottom of the pit, including Long Xianling and the others, were not surprised at all. They were planning to be the oriole behind the mantis stalking the cicada, but Lu Qinin had discovered them in the end. The eyes of Qin Nan and the others glittered. As expected of the exceptional genius of the tribe of immortal spirits, Lu Qinin was still able to discover their presence under the circumstances. Qin Nan and the others exchanged glances with one another. They immediately showed themselves with the cultivators hiding around the pit and flew to the bottom of the pit without any hesitation. Even though the situation was not in their favor, there was no way they would turn back now that they were already here. Yuanji? It's you. Qin Nan? Blood Eye? Lu Qinin, Lu Zhaoming, and Long Xianling were startled when Qin Nan and the others showed up. Lu Zhaoming, in particular, immediately recalled something when he saw the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor. His eyes flickered with fear as his body began to tremble. Lu Qinin glanced at him and immediately came to a realization after noticing his reaction. Qin Nan and his crew were the ones that had tried to harm his brother. The strongest immortal, Qin Nan? The strongest immortal whose Tao foundation was destroyed? Why is he with the exceptional genius of the Sky Taihuang sect, Yuanji? The eyes of the rogue cultivators flickered with astonishment. Qin Nan, why did you target my brother? Lu Qinin asked coldly amidst the uproar. Qin Nan was startled. Lu Zhaoming had sworn an immortal demon oath. How did she know they were the culprits? Could it be that Lu Zhaoming's immortal demon oath was forcibly nullified? That can't be right. Even a 9 Heavens Supreme would have to pay a great price and take a long time to nullify the immortal demon oath. Which means she knew the outcome based on Lu Zhaoming's reaction. This woman's mind is truly extraordinarily meticulous and meticulous. The flames in Qin Nan's eyes flickered. He said calmly, Your brother doesn't know his place. We were only teaching him a lesson on your behalf. The eyes of the cultivators nearby flickered. Chapter 1796. A fight broke out. Lu Xiaoming was infuriated, but his heart skipped a beat when he sensed the 8 brilliance demon emperor's gaze. Should I thank friend Qin Nan instead? The icy look in Lu Qingyin's eyes dissipated slightly. She was well aware of her brother's personality. Lu Xiaoming must have used his identity to provoke Qin Nan and the others without any hesitation. Miss Lu, you don't have to thank me. Your brother is my brother too, Yuanji said with a smile. Yuanji said with a grin. The surrounding cultivators were all shocked to see that. Wasn't this Yuanji an exceptional genius of the Sky Taihuang sect? Wasn't he an accomplished monk? Why was he acting like a pervert now? Master Yuanji, please behave yourself, Lu Qinyin said calmly without looking at him. She then transmitted her voice to Qin Nan. Friend Qin Nan is able to mature more than 10,000 half-completed 6 Unity, Immortal Jades and Frost Souls in just 2 days. Even I am ashamed of myself. Qin Nan shook his head and said, I don't have that kind of capability. I just don't want to leave the half-completed Immortal Jades behind. Even though he did not show any reaction on the surface, he was greatly alarmed in his heart. The woman was a lot smarter than he had imagined. She was able to connect the dots with just a few clues. Lu Qinyin fell silent. It was obvious that she did not believe Qin Nan's words at all. Qin Nan, Blood Eye, it seems like we are fated to meet each other. Long Xianling finally collected his thoughts. He let out a hollow laugh and said, That's great, it saves me a lot of effort. I shall eliminate you all today. Following his roar, he and the cultivators in black robes unleashed their auras of the heaven immortal realm. They performed a series of hand seals and executed a series of immortal arts. He knew Qin Nan had reforged his Tao foundation, granting him extraordinary strength, but he had 6 cultivators in the 5th layer heaven immortal realm on his side. He was confident that he could defeat Qin Nan too. Besides, judging from the situation, the tribe of immortal spirits and Qin Nan were not on good terms with one another. Big sis. Lu Xiaoming was overjoyed. However, due to the immortal demon oath, he didn't dare to say, kill them. However, he knew that his sister would definitely understand his intentions. Friend Qin Nan, given your level of cultivation, it is already very difficult for you to deal with these celestial immortals. If you don't want us to attack again, then tell us the secret. Lu Qinyin transmitted her voice. I've already said that what I took was a half-finished product. Qin Nan didn't even look at her. His blood-red hair danced in the wind as a terrifying aura rose from his body. Long Xianling, I would like to see how you're going to eliminate me today. Qin Nan did not hesitate. He took out the heaven-repairing cauldron and inserted his immortal force into it. Doom harumphed coldly. A tremendous aura burst out from the cauldron and turned into a giant claw that swung at Long Xianling and the others. Tao artifact? Long Xianling and the others' eyes widened. Humph, a bunch of heaven immortals dares to attack me? The 8 brilliance demon emperor, Yuanji, and the others made their moves too. Wisps of demonic auras surged in all directions and attacked Long Xianling and the others. Bang bang bang. Following this, countless explosions took place. The cultivators nearby did not expect them to start a fight, but they were happy to see it. They simply watched from afar with great interest. If you still don't want to tell us, don't blame me for not going easy on you. Lu Qinyin waved her hand. The experts of the tribe of immortal spirits behind her immediately unleashed their formidable auras. Their immortal glow lit up the surroundings as they attacked Qin Nan and the others. In her opinion, the exceptional genius Yuanji was the only one that Qin Nan and the others would be tricky to deal with. After all, Qin Nan's Tao foundation had been destroyed. His brilliance no longer existed. Even with a Tao artifact, he would not last for long. However, even with Yuanji's help, the tribe of immortal spirits still had 18 heaven immortals, over 20 earth immortals, and Long Xianling and the others. There was no way Qin Nan and the others would stand a chance against them. Qin Nan would surely tell them the secret when the time came. Humph, that's what you get for attacking me. Do you know what I'm capable of now? Lu Xiaoming wore a grin. He had already made up his mind. Once Qin Nan and the others were defeated, he would pay them back double the pain they had suffered. Dragon's soaring art. Qin Nan suddenly transformed into an ancient dragon. Not only did he not back away, he took the initiative to charge at the two cultivators of the tribe of immortal spirits who were in the second layer heaven immortal realm. A mere peak earth immortal dares to attack us heaven immortals? Do you think you're still the strongest immortal in the past? The eyes of the two second layer heaven immortals flickered with disdain. However, in the next moment, the expressions on their faces froze. How is this possible? The eyes of the two heaven immortals flickered with astonishment. They immediately executed a series of secret arts without any hesitation, allowing the word sacred on their foreheads to emit a sacred glow encapsulating their figures. Bang! Following a huge blast, the sacred glow on their bodies shattered into pieces. Their bodies were struck by the remaining force too. They groaned in pain as they were knocked flying and slammed into the walls in the distance. Lu Qinyin, Lu Xiaoming, the experts of the tribe of immortal spirits, and the cultivators nearby were astounded. Qin Nan was only a peak earth immortal. How did he manage to knock two second-layer heaven immortals flying with a single move? Cultivator Lu, Qin Nan has already reforged his Dao foundation. You shouldn't underestimate him. Long Xianling immediately yelled upon seeing this. Reforge his Dao foundation? Even Lu Qingyin's face was filled with astonishment. What? Qin Nan has already reforged his Dao foundation? Does that mean the strongest immortal has returned? The surrounding cultivators were also shocked. Some of them even wondered if they had heard wrongly. Another peerless genius has risen to power. Some of the heaven immortals soon collected their thoughts and gasped. During the battle of the strongest immortal, Qin Nan had defeated more than 10 peerless geniuses on his own. So friend Qin Nan has already reforged his Dao foundation, no wonder he's so confident. That being said, friend Qin Nan, no matter how strong you are, you're still only a peak earth immortal. Lu Qinyin calmed her thoughts. Qin Nan die. A thunderous roar exploded in the sky. A white-haired old man of the tribe of immortal spirits was holding a Dao sword. He unleashed a tremendous sword intent slashing at Qin Nan. He was a 9th-layer heaven immortal. Doom! Qin Nan yelled. What are you yelling for? I saw it. Chapter 1797. Roar. Following it, a terrifying beast roar echoed in the giant pit. The old white-haired man was startled. He quickly withdrew his immortal art and took out a half-Dao weapon to defend himself. With a boom, countless cracks appeared on the half-step Dao artifact. The boundless rebounding force hit the white-haired old man in the chest, causing him to groan. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth, and his figure retreated continuously. He had suffered a serious injury. Qin Nan and the others had transferred all their immortal force to Doom. Even though Doom's attack was not strong enough to defeat a peerless ruler, it was enough to destroy an ordinary peak heaven immortal. Such a terrifying Dao weapon, there's an ancient beast inside it. The cultivators of the tribe of immortal spirits and the cultivators nearby were startled. It's our chance. Long Xianling and the others were overjoyed. They sharply noticed that the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and Yuanji's auras had dropped by at least 50%. It was most likely that they had expended too much of their immortal force to activate the Dao weapon. I'll replenish your immortal force. Ling Lanlan, who had been quiet and inconspicuous for a long time, waved her hand. A formidable force immediately entered the bodies of Qin Nan, the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, and the others. As the Tao spirit of the land of extraordinaries, even though she did not have any hint of immortal force, the pure force she possessed was the best nourishment for any cultivator. "Ha Lon Lon, well done!" The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor burst out laughing. He took out a pair of broken ancient demon hammers and swung them at Long Xianling and the others with a tremendous force. Bodhi cleansing art of the heavens and earth. Yuanji no longer had to worry about expending his immortal force. He fully unleashed his outstanding strength. With a flick of his finger, the land within a few hundred li turned into a Bodhi realm. Damn it! Long Xianling and the others wore dark expressions. They had no choice but to defend themselves. It was impossible for them to defeat the 2 cultivators for now. "Friend Qin Nan, I didn't think you even have a Tao spirit. However, these words alone are far from enough," Lu Qinyin said calmly, as if the whole situation was under her control. "The 4 of you, follow me and suppress this Tao artifact. The rest of you, go deal with Qin Nan." The white-haired old man that was sent flying returned, and let out a loud roar. Among the cultivators of the tribe of immortal spirits, 4 8th-layer heaven immortals immediately flew out and followed the white-haired old man closely. They executed one immortal art after another at the enormous heaven-repairing cauldron. Kill! The remaining 14 heaven immortals and over 20 earth immortals turned into brilliant immortal rays pouring down at Qin Nan like a great tide with a shocking aura. "Qin Nan, if we can't hold them off, let's retreat first," the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor transmitted his voice with widened eyes. Tao jolting saber art. However, before he could finish, Qin Nan's figure made his move. His figure weaved between the cultivators while the saber in his hand continuously slashed forward, causing a terrifying saber intent to sweep the surroundings. Bang bang bang! A series of explosions rang out one after another. Even though Qin Nan had used the immortal eyes of the divine god of battle, the unstoppable step, the sky-stride blow, and the Tao-jolting saber art, he was still in great danger. He was like a tiny boat in a raging ocean that could be drowned at any second. After all, he was only on his own. His cultivation was only in the peak earth immortal realm. He's too strong. So this is the strength of the strongest immortal. But there are just too many of them. The cultivators were astounded by Qin Nan's strength, yet they could not help but feel sorry for him. I didn't expect him to be so strong. But what difference does it make? If you offend me, even if you're an exceptional genius, you. Lu Xiaoming felt proud and disdainful upon having the thought. Crimson golden battle armor. In the nick of time, Qin Nan let out a roar. A crimson golden armor appeared out of nowhere and covered his body. His blood-red robe drifted in the wind. His battle intent skyrocketed. It was not the end of it. Battle Tao Immortal Manuscript, Scriptures of Sky Tai Huang, activate. White flames burst out in Qin Nan's eyes. 2 different Tao intents burst out of his body like a peerless immortal sword that had been sealed for 1,000 years. 2 arts of Tao seeking? Lu Qinyin, Lu Xiaoming, the cultivators of the tribe of immortal spirits, and the rogue cultivators nearby were astounded once again. It was not rare for someone to practice 2 arts of Tao seeking in the 9 heavens immortal realm. However, they were disdainful of someone like him. After all, every art of Tao seeking contained endless secrets. It was already difficult to master a single art of Tao seeking and utilize its full potential. However, they could tell that Qin Nan had fully mastered the 2 arts of Tao seeking. He had even mastered the 2 arts. Sky Tai Huang, Tao jolting saber art. Qin Nan made his move again. His formidable saber intents grew even stronger. Each slash felt like a great desolation was surging at them. Sacred Spirit Flesh, activate. The heaven immortals and earth immortals were startled. They immediately unleashed their flesh to strengthen themselves with the force of the heavens and earth. Bang bang bang! The ground began to shake vigorously. Qin Nan was initially at a disadvantage, but he was now on par with the cultivators. As a matter of fact, Qin Nan even had the upper hand and was in control of the battle. He's the real strongest immortal. An independent cultivator at the earthly immortal realm couldn't help but mutter because he'd suffered quite a blow. Lu Xiaoming, who was originally somewhat arrogant and somewhat disdainful, paled. It was only at this moment that he understood the huge gap between him and the other party. Friend Qin Nan, it seems like I've underestimated you. Lu Qingyin's eyes flickered with astonishment. She clasped her hands together and performed a hand seal. She had no choice but to make her move too. However, right at that moment, a buzzing sound came from afar. The white door of light had completely formed. The gate is done. Let's head over at once. The rogue cultivators collected their thoughts and quickly flew toward the gate. The successions and fortunate encounters in this place were the most important things to them. Lu Qingyin's eyes glittered. Should she continue to deal with Qin Nan or head inside first? While she was lost in her thoughts, the white glowing gate slowly opened with a squeak. A terrifying beastly aura burst out of it all of a sudden. A cold shout shook the entire huge sinkhole. Chapter 1798. Joining hands. Everyone's expression changed. The voice contained the aura of a peerless ruler. In a split second, all the confrontations at the bottom of the sinkhole stopped. Qin Nan, Long Xianling, Lu Qinyin, and the others fixed their eyes on the white light door. The door was fully opened. A beast hound over 10 zhang tall with pitch-black fur, 9 heads, and eyes like crescent moons slowly walked out from behind the door. Its 9 pairs of eyes stared at the crowd, sending a chill down their spines. A moon-devouring 9-headed hound? Doom was surprised. He said, "It seems like the place of succession isn't as simple as it seems, to have a mixed-blood hound here." Qin Nan's lips twisted slightly. A mixed blood referred to an impure and complicated bloodline. In the world of beasts, calling someone a mixed blood was a sign of disdain. Die! The moon-devouring 9-headed hound did not waste any time. All 9 of its heads opened their bloody mouths at the same time to fire out azure-blue beams of light towards all the cultivators there. Crap! Run for your lives! The Earth Immortal Realm rogue cultivators immediately wore pale faces. They quickly executed a series of arts to flee for their lives. Qin Nan and the others were startled while dodging the rays. The moon-devouring 9-headed hound was indeed a peerless ruler, yet its attacks were only around 3 times stronger than a peak heaven immortal realm cultivator. Don't panic, the beast is already severely injured. It's no longer as strong as it used to be. We can handle it if we work together. Lu Qinyin glanced at Qin Nan, Long Xianling, and the others and said, "Friend Qin Nan, and the others, why don't we put everything aside for now and deal with it together?" Qin Nan and the others nodded without any hesitation. Long Xianling and the others hesitated for a moment, but they eventually agreed too. They only had 2 choices, either leave or work together. If anyone is planning to take advantage of the situation later, don't blame me for showing no mercy. Everyone, let's attack together. Lu Qinyin warned before flying toward the moon-devouring 9-headed hound like a fairy from a painting. She waved her hand, summoning immortal rays to form huge swords in the rift. The experts of the tribe of immortal spirits followed closely behind. Qin Nan and the others, Long Xianling, and the others spread out and executed a series of immortal art. When the other rogue cultivators saw this, apart from a few earth immortals, many of them hesitated for a moment before joining in. "Ants, you're courting death." The moon-devouring 9-headed hound was infuriated. Its eyes emitted a shocking glow that transformed into a series of killing moves. Boom! Boom! The ground within tens of thousands of miles began to tremble. A wounded peerless ruler was still a peerless ruler after all. The moon-devouring nine-headed hound charged into the crowd. It swung its claws and tore the cultivators into a bloody mist. However, there were wounds all over its body. Friend Qin Nan, it's impossible for us to kill it with our cultivation. I have an idea, but I'll need your help. Lu Qinyin transmitted her thoughts to Qin Nan and the others. Qin Nan and the others exchanged glances with one another before nodding in agreement. Flesh of immortal spirits, Jade Dome Sacred Mountain. Lu Qinyin was serious. The word immortal on her forehead glowed brightly. Wisps of sacred light burst out from the sky within 100 li. A huge mountain came crashing down upon them. Attach. The cultivators of the tribe of immortal spirits performed the same hand seal. Wisps of sacred light burst out of their bodies and surged into the mountain. Runes immediately appeared on the surface of the mountain, and the suppressive force suddenly increased by dozens of times. Here's our chance. Long Xianling and the rest of the rogue cultivators quickly realized something. Countless immortal arts surged at the moon-devouring nine-headed hound from all directions like a raging tide. You bunch of ants! The moon-devouring nine-headed hound was infuriated. Its 9 pairs of eyes were engulfed in flames. Qin Nan and the others immediately inserted their immortal force into the heaven-repairing cauldron. Doom's bloodshot eyes emitted a ferocious aura as he snapped imperiously, "Mixed blood hound, kneel down at once." To his surprise, the moon-devouring nine-headed hound was infuriated instead. "You mere ant, how dare you call me a mixed bloodhound? I'm going to tear you into pieces right now." Doom was infuriated. He initially wanted to put on a show, yet the mixed bloodhound did not recognize his aura. Roar. Doom was infuriated. The consequences were dire. A terrifying beast roar landed on one of the heads with a terrifying force. Following an explosion, the head was covered in blood. The other 8 heads let out cries of agony as if they were experiencing the same thing. All living beings, heed my command and lend me a hand with all your might. Lu Qinyin immediately executed a secret technique to absorb a strong force from the surroundings. Her aura skyrocketed, making her look like a peerless immortal. Immortal Tao Talisman, seal the body and lock the soul. She used all her might to activate a Tao Talisman and tossed it into the air. The Tao Talisman, around the size of a palm, instantly expanded over 10 times and stuck to the sacred mountain. Buzz! A strange force surged in all directions. The sacred mountain seemed to possess an unimaginable power. It suppressed the moon-devouring nine-headed hound. The creature could only shake it slightly despite struggling. It was unable to break free. Miss Lu is indeed a peerless genius. She is truly extraordinary. The rogue cultivators were overjoyed. They immediately complimented Lu Qinyin. What a surprise, the woman has a Tao talisman too. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes flickered with envy. He then cast a disdainful look at a certain bald donkey. They were both exceptional geniuses, yet why was the difference between them so huge? It's all thanks to everyone's efforts. However, the talisman can only suppress the beast for 20 hours, so make the best use of your time. Lu Qinyin gave Qin Nan a thoughtful look before transmitting her thought. She flew into the light gate with the cultivators of the tribe of immortal spirit. Time was running out. If they continued to fight Qin Nan, the others would only take advantage of them. They had no choice but to put Qin Nan's matter aside for the time being. Let's go inside. The rest of the rogue cultivators could not wait any longer. They turned into immortal rays and flew into the light gate. Qin Nan, let's go too. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor became excited. Chapter 1799. The small world of profound water. Qin Nan looked at Long Xianling and the others. The man had tried everything he could to hunt him down after learning he was related to the drought demon heaven god. He even went as far as to chase him all the way from the Shangxingtian's small immortal realm to the fourth small immortal realm. There was no way Qin Nan would let such a formidable foe go, even if he was not going to claim the successions of this place. Hee, Qin Nan, it's time we settle the debt between us. Long Xianling let out a hollow laugh. He glanced at the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Ung, and the others and said with a gentle smile, "Fellow cultivators, there's no conflict between us. Besides, it's not my idea to target Qin Nan, but the Sanqing Ancient Sect and Supreme South World's idea too. Therefore, I hope you can give me some face and not get involved in this matter. Go and claim the successions of this place." From what he knew, Qin Nan had only teamed up with these people for a short period of time. Their relationship was based on their own interests, instead of a life-and-death relationship. If he could ask them to leave, he would not be afraid of Qin Nan and Blood Eye. "Don't you dare threaten me with Supreme South World and the Sanqing Ancient Sect. As for your face? Do you even have any? Die for this prince." The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor wore a disdainful look. He swung the demonic hammers in his hand, producing thousands of shadows looming over Long Xianling and the others. He was not a life-and-death battle friend with Qin Nan. He was only his friend at most, but he was a demon emperor. A demon emperor prioritized his friends over his own interests. He would only side with those he was close to him. "Fellow cultivators, you're up to no good. I must convert you to Buddhism today." Ung placed his palms together. Illusionary figures of 10 Buddhas appeared behind him with blinding Bodhi glows. Chants of Bodhi chants echoed in the surroundings. "There's nothing else to be said." Long Xuanling's expression darkened. He performed a hand seal. 36 golden ancient swords flew out of his divine sense and formed an ancient sword formation. The other heaven immortals were long prepared for it. They unleashed their immortal force and executed a series of immortal arts. Suppress. Qin Nan made his move too. He unleashed the full potential of his 2 arts of Tao seeking. A tremendous battle intent and the will of Sky Tai Huang intertwined with the heaven-repairing cauldron, granting it a formidable power. Doom harumphed coldly inside the cauldron. A formidable force burst out of his body. Ling Lanlan, Blood Eye, and Xiao Shunliang knew they could not take part in the battle. The former kept unleashing her pure energy to help Qin Nan and the others recover their cultivation. Blood Eye and Xiao Shunliang executed some strange immortal arts to disrupt the heaven immortals. Boom! Boom! Boundless energy surged out from his body. Even though Long Xianling and the others were all 5th-layer heaven immortals, they were still in a disadvantageous position. Art of the 3 Das Demon Kings. Doom took hold of the perfect opportunity. He swung his giant claws forward. The rift began to tremble as the area within a few thousand li turned into a realm of beasts. 3 enormous figures appeared with ferocious auras. Extreme Yang flash of the foregrounds. Long Xianling was startled. He quickly performed a hand seal. A tremendous immortal glow burst out from his forehead. A giant umbrella over 18 zhang tall covered in runes in the shape of flames with wisps of Tao intent immediately opened up and shielded them from the onlookers. "Nice treasure. I'll be taking it." The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes glittered. He quickly took out a hand bone from his storage bag. This hand bone was different from the leg bone. The instant it appeared, it gave off a terrifying killing intent. Numerous blood-red eyes condensed on the ground. It was like a devil god from the endless hell was coldly watching everything. "Qin Nan, just you wait." Long Xianling did not panic. His eyes flickered sinisterly as he took out a talisman. A wisp of energy encapsulated him and the heaven immortals. They vanished into thin air following a whoosh. Trying to run away? Heaven battling immortal eyes, kill! Qin Nan's blood-red hair drifted wildly in the wind. The white flames in his eyes burned fiercely as a tremendous power descended upon the place to hunt them down. F***K. Qin Nan, don't waste your energy. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor felt his teeth aching. Those cowards were already planning to run away when we made our move. We won't be able to catch up to them no matter how hard we try. Xiao Shunliang said with a pitiful look, they are pretty smart. If they were a little later, I would have made my move and killed them all. Qin Nan and Blood Eye frowned. They had failed to eliminate Long Xianling and the others despite the great opportunity. They had no idea how long they would have to wait. Everyone, thanks. Qin Nan soon calmed his thoughts. He brought his fists together at the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the others. He had benefited a lot too. After all, they were no longer just allies after the incident. They were friends now. Why are you being so courteous with me? Once we enter the place with the successions, I'll take 30% of the loot you find. 8 Brilliance, how shameless are you? I only want 20%. Ugh, I won't compete with you, 10% is fine. Ling Lanlan tilted her head and pondered for a moment. She asked probingly, can I take 40%? Qin Nan's lips twisted. It was rare for him to feel a little emotional, but it was ruined all of a sudden. Alright, let's go inside. We've already wasted a lot of time. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor urged. Time was extremely important in these places with successions. They might end up empty-handed if they were a little slower. Hold on. Yuanji suddenly said, Xiao Shunliang, go and compliment this peerless ruler. Qin Nan and the others were startled. What was Yuanji trying to do? Bald donkey, do you think I'm going to let you go just because you compliment me? I'm going to tear you all into pieces when the time comes. The moon-devouring nine-headed hound glared at the crowd coldly. Xiao Shunliang collected his thoughts. Even though he was confused, he still spoke honestly. You mongrel, why are you barking here? If you infuriate me, I'll stew you right away. His expression shifted greatly. He initially thought Yuanji would use some strange ability to turn his mocking words into compliments when he spoke. However, Yuanji had set him up instead. What did you say? I'm going to tear you apart, I'm going to tear you apart. The moon-devouring nine-headed hound was enraged. Its furious roar echoed in the pit. However, the person it was roaring at was Xiao Shunliang. No matter how scared Xiao Shunliang was, he immediately mocked it disdainfully. What are you barking for? You're so ugly and weak, yet you still want to tear me apart? I'm telling you, I'm not going to argue with you. The moon-devouring nine-headed hound was enraged. It was a peerless ruler. Since when did a mere earth immortal treat it like that? Chapter 1800. The villain in the dark. The moon-devouring nine-headed hound yelled furiously. How is that possible? I'm going to tell you. Once you enter this place, you will find a copper wall with 10,000 words. You just need to shatter the words Supreme Level Beast on it to enter the small world of Yunshui. At this point, it suddenly woke up, and its 9 pairs of eyes were filled with disbelief. What was going on? Why did he tell him everything? Haha, bald donkey, you're really something. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor blurted out in excitement. The eyes of Qin Nan and the others flickered with astonishment. It was obvious that Yuanji had asked Xiao Shunliang to speak so that the moon-devouring nine-headed hound would lose its rationality. Yuanji was trying to take advantage of the situation to make the moon-devouring nine-headed hound speak in reverse. It's just a small test. Let's go inside. Yuanji waved his hand proudly. Qin Nan and the others collected their thoughts and entered the light gate, leaving the moon-devouring nine-headed hound and the rest of the beasts behind in embarrassment. Meanwhile, at the center of the 6 Unity Forbidden Land, beside a river, Long Xianling and the others immediately came out of it following a blinding immortal glow. They landed on the ground. They won't be able to catch up to us now that we're here. Long Xianling scanned his surroundings and said, Cultivator Long, why did we run away? Even though Qin Nan and the others are strong, we still have a chance of winning if we use that thing. A heaven immortal in a black robe said coldly, "If you can't give us a good explanation, I'll tell Supreme South World everything that happened." The rest of the cultivators looked at Long Xianling coldly. Long Xianling said with a hollow laugh, "Two exceptional geniuses and a mysterious demon cultivator. Do you really think we can kill them with that thing? Do you think it's that easy to kill them?" The cultivators in black robes were startled. They had neglected one thing. Those that could become exceptional geniuses were extremely fortunate, not to mention their outstanding strength. It was unlikely they would be killed so easily. "So you're saying we can't kill them? We have to ask Supreme South World for help?" The black-robed man's attitude softened slightly. As a safety precaution, Senior Supreme South World has to make his way to the realm of chaos. However, before that, I still have one more move. Long Xianling wore a sinister look as he took out a round white crystal from his storage bag. Images flickered inside the crystal. It was the scene where Qin Nan and the others were flying down to the bottom of the pit. They were talking to Lu Qinin, while the rogue cultivators nearby were talking to one another. "This is..." The black-robed men hesitated. "This is the moon imprinting crystal. It can record everything that happens within 100 breaths. I have a total of 670 of these crystals." Long Xianling said, "We'll split up and distribute the crystals to the people of the Emperor's ancient island, 10,000-layer Immortal Pagoda, Extreme Living Gate, Nongyan Tribe, Wengu Tribe, and Wu Yi Tribe. What do you think will happen next?" Saying this, the corners of his mouth curled up. The black-robed men were dumbfounded. They were not idiot. The people of these factions were at odds with Qin Nan and his crew. They had always wanted to eliminate Qin Nan. Even though the peerless rulers and 9 heavens supremes of these factions had gone deeper into the place and would not be able to make it in time, if a few dozen heaven immortals or even a few peak heaven immortals showed up, Qin Nan and his crew would have no chance of escaping. However, I have no idea where the people of these factions are either, so you should hurry up and make your move. Long Xuanling's eyes flickered as he said calmly, "By the way, remember, I've always been a meticulous person. I'll always have a backup plan. Therefore, don't doubt me, do you understand?" "Got it. All right, off you go." Meanwhile, inside the light gate where the rare phenomenon of the wind and rain took place, the space nearby twisted after Qin Nan and his crew entered the gate. A few moments later, they found themselves in an ancient city. The city was built with some kind of blood-colored ore. It had an eerie glow and an evil aura. Both sides of the spacious streets were lined with palaces over a few hundred zhang tall. Some of the palaces had immortal auras surging into the sky with rare phenomena. Some of the palaces had murderous auras too. Strangely, the palaces with immortal glows did not have any cultivators nearby. On the other hand, the palaces with murderous auras were crowded with rogue cultivators competing for something. "Qin Nan and his crew are here. Cultivator Qin Nan, Cultivator Yuanji, are you interested in joining hands with me? I've just discovered a place of fortunate encounters. Seniors, are you interested in exploring it together?" Many people noticed the arrival of Qin Nan and his crew. Some were on alert in secret, but most of them transmitted their divine sense to the others. The copper wall of 10,000 words. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor was quite observant when he was searching for successions. He soon discovered a copper wall with countless ancient words carved on it at the southern end of the city. He was overjoyed. "Everyone, let's work together if we have the chance." Qin Nan and Yuanji brought their fists together before flying to the copper wall. Thousands of ancient words on the wall had been shattered. There were also corpses whose blood had yet to dry. It was obvious that they had been killed by the forbidding auras after hitting the wrong word. Life, extremity. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor quickly scanned the place. He chuckled and said, "Luckily, none of them are shattered." Spread out, let me do it. He flicked his finger. 8 demon swords flew out and slashed at the 8 ancient words, shattering them into pieces. Buzz! The enormous copper wall began to tremble. Wisps of blue light soared into the sky from the palaces in the distance. They flew toward Qin Nan and his crew and slowly formed a spinning blue glow. They found a successions on the copper wall? The rogue cultivators nearby were startled. Some of them were on the verge of making a move too. They had come in advance, thus they knew there were 11 successions on the copper wall. They had to search for clues in the ancient city in order to claim them. The people of the tribe of immortal spirits had found 3 of the successions. The rogue cultivators had found 5 too. Fellow cultivators, if any of you don't want to die, you better not come with me. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor scanned the surroundings coldly before entering the light with Qin Nan and his crew. Similar to when they first came in, the space around them was twisted. However, this time, they only landed after around 20 breaths. The scenery before them was no longer the same as the ancient city. Chapter 1801. Breaking through to the heaven immortal realm. The eyes of Qin Nan and the others flickered with astonishment. Right now, they were in a domain that spanned hundreds of thousands of miles. Every inch of space was filled with a blue light. Furthermore, this blue light seemed to have substance. It would undulate and flow like water ripples. It made one feel as if they had entered water. On top of it, Qin Nan and the others could sense a formidable pure force from the surface of the blue glow. This kind of pure energy was a little similar to the pure energy of the Land of Extraordinaries, but it was completely different in terms of its most fundamental will. It must be a kind of pure force produced by the heavens and earth. Once it's absorbed, it will improve the immortal force of a cultivator or the energy of other things. In other words, this place is a great place to improve our cultivation. Ling Lanlin's eyes flickered with excitement. If she were to cultivate here, she could improve her cultivation too. This place is not bad indeed. The pure force it contains is enough to improve a first-layer heaven immortal to the peak heaven immortal realm, Doom exclaimed. Doom exclaimed with a hint of envy in his heart. He needed a place like this to recover his cultivation, but unfortunately, he was trapped inside the heaven-repairing cauldron, thus he could not absorb it. Haha, I'm extraordinarily lucky indeed. Soon, all of you will see this king step into the celestial immortal realm. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor's eyes glittered. He impatiently sat down with his legs crossed and performed a strange seal with his hands. A strong force burst out of his body and absorbed the blue glow into his body to improve his immortal force. He had been stuck in the peak Earth immortal realm for too long. Don't be too happy yet, the beast will break free in 18 hours. We have to leave before that. Otherwise, Xiao Shunliang is going to be torn into pieces. Yuanji wanted to pour a bucket of cold water on the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, but the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor did not seem to be bothered at all. Let's absorb it together, we'll absorb as much as we can, Qin Nan said and sat down with his legs crossed. He was only half a step away from the heaven immortal realm. He had a great chance of achieving the breakthrough in 18 hours. Shua. Qin Nan calmed his thoughts. The immortal force of the Tao-melting immortal flames in his dantian burned fiercely and absorbed the blue light continuously. Now all 6 of them were in closed-door cultivation. The one with the strongest absorption force was not Qin Nan and the others, but Ling Lanlan. As a Tao spirit, she had a unique advantage. She could absorb 3 times as much as Qin Nan and the others in a single breath. Time trickled by and soon 2 hours had passed. Qin Nan, who was calmly cultivating, suddenly frowned. For some reason, the 9-colored Tao light in his body began to shine brightly. Formless Tao will flowed through his entire body. In addition to it, he suddenly recalled the Battle Tao immortal manuscript and the scriptures of Sky Tai Huang. Every word of the two arts of Tao seeking was magnified a few thousand times, as if they were strengthened by an invisible force. They had a mystical feel to them. Following it, the illusionary immortal Tao manuscript, Tao execution scriptures, and other arts of Tao seeking popped up like bamboo shoots after a rain. They occupied a small space in his mind with different mystical effect. Is it because of the nine-colored Tao light? Qin Nan murmured. Going from the human immortal realm to the earth immortal realm, and then to the heaven immortal realm, did not change one's cultivation level. It was only a change of immortal force. However, Qin Nan knew it was a good thing for him. It was like planting a Tao seed that would grow into a towering Tao tree in the future. However, if that's the case, I'll need 6 times more immortal force to achieve the heaven immortal realm. It's impossible this time. Wait. Qin Nan shook his head. He was about to give up when he suddenly recalled the divine battle spirit. Even though he had yet to learn the full name of the divine battle spirit, and the divine battle spirit had yet to fully awaken, nor did he know what kind of power the divine battle spirit possessed. However, the divine battle spirit currently had 2 abilities. First, the divine battle spirit was able to absorb all the pure force between the heavens and earth. Second, it was able to protect his soul. It was able to ignore all soul attacks. Divine battle spirit, unleash. Having this thought, Qin Nan groaned. A brilliant, ancient blue glow soared into the sky from his back. Its overwhelming aura immediately surged across the small world of profound water. The blue light began to tremble vigorously. Even though it was only pure force, it still struggled to escape the impact of the aura. Who's there? Doom Yuanji, the 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Ling Lanlan, and the others were startled. Their eyes sprang open simultaneously. Bang bang bang. Qin Nan allowed the arts of Tao seeking to appear in his mind. He unleashed a magical feeling and focused on cultivating. The divine battle spirit immediately unleashed a terrifying absorption force. The wisps of blue light surged into his body like a surging river. The immortal force of the Tao-melting immortal flames began to burn and merge with it. His immortal force began to grow rapidly too. The flames gradually grew stronger. As expected of the divine battle spirit, at this rate, I can achieve the heaven immortal realm in just 3 hours. Qin Nan was overjoyed. He quickly immersed himself in the process. What the F******K? Is that the soul of the 5th immortal? The soul of the 5th immortal. It's extremely terrifying indeed. It already possesses such an overwhelming aura even though it hasn't fully manifested yet. Doom, Yuanji, and the others struggled to remain calm. They were astounded. The 10 immortals were the strongest cultivators in the Master Realm. The top 4 among them were already a step away from achieving the Master Realm. Meanwhile, the 5th immortal was basically the strongest cultivator in the Master Realm. Cheating. He's cheating. However, Ling Lanlan had no idea who the 5th immortal was. She only knew Qin Nan was absorbing the 5th immortal's energy like a storm. Meanwhile, she was greatly affected too. Her speed of absorbing the 5th immortal's energy dropped by half. She was like a beast drinking water gently. Holy crap, that guy is so shameless. I'll have to settle the score with him later. The 8 Brilliance Demon Emperor, Yuanji, and the others clenched their teeth as they collected their thoughts. They had no choice but to continue absorbing the energy. Time gradually flowed like water. 2 hours later, Qin Nan was emitting an immortal glow. The Tao-melting immortal flames and immortal force in his body had doubled. They had reached a limit. Once he broke through the limit, he would achieve the heaven immortal realm. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the pit outside the ancient city, whoosh whoosh whoosh, accompanied by a series of air-piercing sounds, 27 figures descended from the sky. Among them, there was 1 4th-tier heaven immortal, 3 3rd-tier heaven immortal, 2 2nd-tier heaven immortal, and the rest were all peak earth immortals. A peerless ruler? The eyes of the 27 cultivators widened when they saw the moon-devouring nine-headed hound. However, they let out relieved sighs when they saw the moon-devouring nine-headed hound was suppressed. Did Qin Nan and the others go in? Among the 27 cultivators, a young man who was leading the group glanced around before fixing his gaze on the light gate. If Qin Nan and the others were here, they would recognize the young man to be the core elder of the Emperor's ancient island, Xiaoyu. He did not hesitate after acquiring the moon-sealing crystal. He immediately led the cultivators of the Emperor's ancient island to the place he was from. He even notified the rest of the cultivators of the Emperor's ancient island, but he was one step ahead of them. He had to get his hands on the drop of demon blood at all costs. Elder Xiao, there's no need to rush. Why don't we ask the peerless ruler first? An old heaven immortal realm cultivator said. He then brought his fists together at the moon-devouring nine-headed hound. May I ask if Senior Emperor Beast has seen these people before? If so, can Senior Emperor Beast tell us where they are? Even though we can't help Senior break free from the seal, we can help Senior neutralize some of the power of the sacred mountain so Senior can come out sooner. Saying this, he took out the moon-imprinting crystal. The faces of Qin Nan and the others appeared on the crystal. The moon-devouring nine-headed hound had a violent temper. It hated human cultivators very much. It was not willing to waste its time with the cultivators, yet it was infuriated when it saw the faces of Qin Nan and the others. I've seen these people before. I also know where they went, the moon-devouring nine-headed hound said while clenching its teeth. Really? Xiaoyu and the others were overjoyed. Why would I lie to you? The moon-devouring nine-headed hound glanced at the cultivators coldly. I'm afraid they have already arrived at the small world of profound water. If you want to find them, you will have to destroy something to open up the tunnel. But why are you looking for them? If you want to kill them, I can lend you a hand, but if not, you should leave at once. Xiaoyu blurted out, to kill them, of course. The eyes of the moon-devouring nine-headed hound flickered viciously. If that's the case, you will have to swear an immortal demon oath. After Xiaoyu and the others swore an immortal demon oath, the moon-devouring nine-headed hound told them the method. Normally, the moon-devouring nine-headed hound would not tell them the method even when its life was in danger. However, it was greatly humiliated when the cultivators managed to trick it into telling them the method. Spread the news to the others of the Emperor's ancient island. We'll head inside at once. Xiaoyu gave the order. He led the others into the light gate and began searching the place under the astounded gazes of the rogue cultivators. Not long after, they discovered a boulder at each of the four corners of the ancient city. Break the boulder with all you've got, Xiaoyu yelled. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.